2017. Do want to read off a quick $600 anonymous donation. Thank you so much for that. And they just say, killing the animals looks too far ahead. Let's tighten that lead a bit and see if we can make an actual proper race. I feel you, Anonymous. All right, guys, I've had fun hanging out with you, but now I'm going to throw it over to Edo Bean, and she's going to take you through the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix.
Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Edo Bean. I'm going to be your host today for the lovely Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix by Bloody Biscuits. I cannot wait. Just so that you guys know, we still have the bid going up for the Kingdom Hearts songs, for our Disney songs that we will be singing. So just keep on donating. If you want them to win, it'll be the top 5. Right now, Mulan, I'll Make a Man Out of You is winning. We have Little Mermaid, Part of Your World in second. Beauty and the Beast with Gaston. And we have Aladdin, A Whole New World, and Aladdin, Friend Like Me. So if you want Hercules, Go the Distance, or Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame, or I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules, Bare Necessities from Jungle Book, or Reflection from Mulan, if you want those to get into those top 5, go ahead and donate now. Also, don't forget, guys, we are still trying to reach our bit incentive for Majora's Mask blindfolded. Fight Majora blindfolded? That sounds insane. So we are accepting bits. And right now we are at, we are a lot right now. We're at 1,405,646. We need 5 million. We can make it happen, right? I hope so. I think we can make it happen. So let's do that. We have a $10 donation from Animal Blue that says, hello everyone, first time donating and long time viewer. Finally got my first job, and what better way to spend part of my salary than on my favorite game of all time. Put this towards the Disney song Gaston, because no one's slick like Gaston. Teiji donates $250 saying, donating because Cover Muffin is amazing. I want him to be my best friend. Shout out to whoever made the GDQ song. Please upload it onto YouTube. Yes, please do so. I would love to hear it again. Anonymous donation of $5 saying, donated I have. Reading like Yoda you have to do. May the RNG be with you. Thank you, Wildfire, for your $10 donation. I always donate during the Star Wars games because I want to force my bad jokes on you. Thank you for all your hard work at SGDQ. This is my donation for this year. Thank you so much, Wildfire. I appreciate it. And then just for those that were wondering about the later games that are coming up, we have met our incentives for the Kingdom Hearts. So we will be seeing that Sephiroth fight. We will be seeing the Terra Lingering Will. And we'll also be doing the third bonus game as well. Once again, you can still donate during for the Disney songs, as they will be throughout the run. So keep on donating if you want it to be met. Also, we also have an incentive that has yet to reach its met. It's for Final Fantasy VII, Omni/Sephiroth. Come on, guys. We want to end We want to end our run in style, but we need $20,000. And right now, we're only at 4,201. So if you really, really want to see Cloud beat up Sephiroth in the most stylish, longest fashion ever, please donate for that incentive. $50 from Anonymous that says, looking forward to watching the Final Fantasy VII run, hoping to see the end before I need to run a 5K. Oh, wow. Props to you. All right, and I think we are ready for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Take it away.
Awesome. All right, thank you guys. So, this is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix on the 2.5 PS4 version. I want to go just over some quick introductions. I'm Bloody Biscuits. You guys can introduce yourselves.
I'm Midax.
J-Hobbs. I'm Spike Vegeta.
Yeah, this is Kingdom Hearts. We're going to be playing on critical mode, and we have a timer ready. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I did it.
This guy runs this game every day.
Yes.
He forgot where the timer starts.
There's a rumble pack. So
this is going to be a great run, trust me.
So right off the bat, you could probably tell it by looking at the screen right there. Critical mode is just the highest difficulty. There's the original Kingdom Hearts 2. You might have played it for the PlayStation 2. That has just 3 difficulties, beginner, standard, and proud. As you go up in difficulty, stuff does more damage to you. You do less damage. Critical mode is actually an exclusive difficulty to the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix version. You can kind of think of Final Mix as almost like the director's cut version. That was originally a Japanese exclusive, but when they brought the HD ports over for PS3 and PS4, now they're available to everyone.
Yeah, and he's playing on PS4, which means that we're going to be talking really fast because all the loads are gone.
Yeah, they sucked all of the loads out of these games, so it's really good. So he's attacking it, Cypher right here, in a very specific set of hits to actually manipulate RNG for 2 dusks.
We are doing RNG manipulation this early in the run, yes.
Yeah. You'll see it coming up here for the first dusk. Basically, there's no way to actually kill the dusk with this foam bat that we have, the struggle bats. So we either want to die quickly, which we're going to prefer to do, or just deal enough hits and it kind of ends the fight. So he's just going to run into the cage over here.
This is a death abuse. It's just, there are a lot of points in the game where the game will just let you get to really low health, and then you can just continue the story. And that's much faster, especially on critical mode, because on critical mode, we're going to be taking a lot more damage than normal. Yeah, dude, a dusk. We did it.
So if you're completely unfamiliar with this game, it's an action RPG, and the kind of important things to note about your UI and how the game kind of works is that in the bottom left corner, you see that menu there. Right now it just says attack and question mark, question mark, question mark. But we'll be unlocking new abilities and new magic and stuff like that he'll be menuing with the D-pad in that bottom left corner. So we'll talk about each as they come up.
Right here on day 2 of this little Roxas section, the character we're playing as, we need to complete one of these missions, and it'll let you go on. This is the fastest one. Do we have a 6? Yeah.
Nice.
That was good.
Pretty good.
They actually made that harder in the PS4 version.
And just a tad.
There's little pieces of tech to it. It's not super applicable, but to the rest of the game. But yeah, there's lots of like jumping to reduce lag for when you land on the ground and such.
A lot of people might not know that you only have to do one job to get past this day.
Yeah.
Some people might have been like stuck here for hours doing it like 30 times in a row to like farm money for the extra AP, but we only have to do it once to get through the day.
Yeah, and kind of our main point right here, we're actually not playing as the main character, we're playing as Roxas instead.
Your boy Roxas.
And we just kind of have to do a lot of these basic mission things as the game is trying to tell us something's going on, something weird is happening, and eventually we'll be out of this area and move on to our main character.
So this Dusk is also manipulated right there, so he knew what pattern he was going to give him. He knew what he had to do to get the certain amount of hits. Kind of imagine like it's got a health bar, you just don't see it and you're not actually dealing damage.
Picking up a shield here, this is going to kind of change his ability route later on. The order in which he gets the abilities as he levels up, and that's what's most important, as well as a little bit of extra defense.
Right here, so generally you don't want to hit one of these Dusks, these basic enemies, with a finisher unless you know it's going to kill, because that's going to knock them far away, as opposed to just hitting them with a couple of air hits, landing to end the animation and reset your combo, and then jumping and going again.
Now we're walking up to kind of our first boss, Twilight Thorn.
Exclusive to critical mode right here. He switched some camera stuff, but boom, got all those. One thing to note real quick, the menus in this game are delicious to do fast.
Yes.
They're very quick, they respond very well, you can buffer stuff. They're some of the best menus in RPG speedrunning in my opinion.
Yeah.
But all those abilities you just got, those are exclusive to critical mode. Critical mode is an interesting difficulty in that a lot of things can 2, 3 shot you, even 1 shot you all over the place, but you actually do more damage than you do on standard and proud, the 2nd and 3rd difficulties. Beginner out damages you a little bit, but not by much. They're almost the same length in terms of a full run, both just under 3 hours in the world record.
Yeah, it's actually insane how close it's been, and the record for those have gone back and forth constantly on which version's actually faster.
And a lot of what allows critical mode to catch up to beginner is because of those exclusive abilities it just gave you. A big one, the major one, is that they gave you finishing plus. So normally, like right now, you see he's got this 3-hit combo, 1, 2, and then the 3rd is the finisher. Now he's actually gonna have a 4-hit combo, and the 3rd and 4th hits are both going to deal critical, or
Can I get some
finisher
Goofer
damage.
Z in chat, please?
What a baller.
That's the face of true perfection.
He literally just had to wait there. This is your tutorial boss. It's
Yeah.
teaching you about these things called reaction commands. What a reaction command is when a triangle shows up in the bottom left corner, like now, and you can actually use it in order to do some kind of effect or affect the boss in some way. And it also happens with a lot of regular enemies as well. We'll be seeing them throughout the entire run.
All right, Bloody, I believe in the 4 combo.
Yeah, it's easy.
So Roxas, it definitely got better in the PS4 version, so that's good. He knows he got kind of the maximum amount of damage he could output there. Now he's going to get in 1 combo here, with adding in that finishing plus. Now he's moving around to this corner because you see those creepers on the floor.
There we go.
He just knocked them away on that combo.
These vines will damage him, so he has to back away from them after each time. Audio cue for those creepers to land, so he dodges them as well. Now he should be pretty good on this fight.
Should be right here. Hell.
So yeah, the main goal is to stay real close to his face. Typically, he shoots vines at you if you're at a very far distance, but if you're right up in his face, there's a safe zone where he just doesn't shoot vines. So that's the optimal way to go about it.
Yeah. I'm going to say right off the bat, just with like all these fights, in addition to trying to not die, he's equipping guard right there. He'll be using that. Well, actually not in the, you'll see it later on. All throughout this game, there's so many little minute details to like even, you don't just want to generally go in front of the face. You want to be kind of at that corner to make sure on his big finisher, he was going to hit both of the creepers and set the fight up correctly.
Now we have to do a series of struggle fights, and these are pretty obnoxious. Luckily, Crit has that finishing plus and an ability called Draw to help him out with it. Draw helps pick up items on the screen from
nice
further
move.
away.
Yeah, good stuff.
Got a very nice job with Hainer there, and he's going to be coming up to the next struggle fight, Vivi, which is has a pretty nice strat, but is notoriously like difficult to learn for
Bloody,
beginners.
you developed this strat?
Yeah, there's
or-
a little bit of a newer strat. Hopefully I nail it here.
So the kind of thing to notice with this is that he's not always finishing his combo. You know, he's not just mashing X to win, right? He's actually specifically stopping a lot of his combos here because we know when Vivi will retaliate. The damage he took there was intentional, but he had to get back onto the ground very quickly,
There
and
you
he
go.
finishes the fight
Yeah.
almost instantly.
Nice.
Those are real good struggles. I'm pretty happy with that.
So now we take a break from struggles. We got 2 fights here. To note, if he dies to either one of these fights, he'll have to go back to before Vivi because it sends you back to the last time you're able to like basically get into your menu. Dusks suck. This is a notoriously just kind of trashy fight. He's going to try to utilize the reaction. That was really good, though. He's going to try to utilize the reaction command, the reversal, to sometimes swap around them and kind of keep them stunned. Axel needs to get off 6 combos here. Hobbs, take it away.
Yeah, so he's going to be hitting the first 2 as quickly as possible because they won't kind of add to his stagger count, which we'll get into later. He's going to be mashing out a guard there in order to avoid that retaliation that he knew was coming. 1 more combo,
Nice.
and there it is.
It looked like it was just kind of wailing on him, but that is a very specific combo with very specific timings that you have to do in order to prevent him from doing like a stronger move.
Yeah.
That wastes a lot of time.
It's also very easy to get to have your finishers completely miss Axel sometimes. You have to put all these delays everywhere, or even fast timing in certain spots. Why are we dying here, Dax?
This is hardly a gamble. It's easier.
I'm really bad.
It's easier.
That's why.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Because, well, I mean, he's the hardest character to fight
Right.
in the game.
Yeah.
That is hopefully our last death of the run.
We also get a medal there that's going to give us 1 extra strength.
Yes. That normally he would give you a championship belt, which would give you a bunch of resistance, like to different elemental attacks. Now we don't need that. I actually want to get into this a little bit right here because I'm sure Edo's got like 1 million donations and such to read as we move up to a couple of sections here. As you guys know, there are Disney songs that will be sung during this. They'll be sung during each of the gummy missions. We're actually only taking the top 5 this year, so during the first 5 gummy missions. First one's coming up here in about maybe 15 minutes or so right now. So it's going to be whichever one has the most donations will be sung first, and then we'll go in descending order. So if you guys want to try to snipe that, get one of those like 6th, 7th, 8th place songs to get it up there. I want to see my boy Zem. He's got the 6th and 7th place songs right now. He could either do Go the Distance from Hercules or Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know the internet loves that song, so try to get in those donations. They're all within like a couple $100 of one another.
Yep, and we'll, like Spike said, we'll be doing those for the first 5
Gummy
the first
missions.
5 gummy missions.
All of them will happen within the first hour and a half of this run.
Right now, we're kind of in our little like mission area. Or what they call it is 7 wonders. There's 7 wonders of this town, and they need to go kind of examine each one because the kids are, I don't know, starting a detective agency or something.
They're just missing Scooby-Doo. Anyways, so these VVs, basically he just tried to pull them all to the center of the arena, those initial 3, because after that the spawns are random. But if generally you're in the center, you have a little bit easier time to kind of pick them off as you choose. Coming up here, we've got Shadow Roxas this fight. Some specifics to understand about Roxas right off the bat. He equipped the medal right there, which again is going to give him that +1 strength. That's going to be equipped for the rest of the game. So it kind of shows you how important it was to just go ahead and lose that Setzer fight back there.
The medal's going to have an immediate effect on this fight right here. We're going to be doing a little bit more damage.
Roxas's first 2 hits are interchangeable based on proximity to the enemy you're fighting. So there's both a lunge and there's an overhead swing. Let's go for the man strats.
Those air combos are incredibly difficult.
Basically, the shorter or the smaller an enemy is, the harder it is to get off those constant air combos.
They made Roxas have kind of, I like to think it's intentional because otherwise, but
Yeah.
Roxas is kind of
Real baggy pants, man.
He's
You can't get up.
intentionally more clunky to use, so that way when we get Sora later, you feel instantly more powerful. And because of that, doing air combos with him especially is incredibly difficult to do.
So, anyways, yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in because we've got, basically we're going to be doing this mini game, press triangle, you win, and then like you walk for a while. So, Edo, crank out some donations.
No problem. We have a $10 donation from Earthbound Ian saying the
What up?
KH
Yo.
community has been like a family to me. I'm honored and blessed to be here in person and experience with it with the community. Love you, BB, and good luck and have fun, man.
Your boy Ian's actually on the couch back there cheering me on, so thank you, Ian. I really appreciate
Got
that.
Albert in his lap.
He has a sweet tattoo on his arm. If you guys didn't see it on Twitter, it was amazing. Amazing. We have a $15 donation from Daniel that says, I love Kingdom Hearts and I love Disney. I am in GDQ heaven. May the RNG gods be ever in your favor. Also, let's get Herc in the song mix. We can go the distance.
I heard Zem sing once. It was pretty cool. I'd like
He
to do. I like
he
to
is
do that.
all right.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
almost
It's
as
not
good
like
as
he's
me.
a professionally trained opera singer or anything like that.
I don't know, this,
You're welcome, Zim. Oh, he's here? Did you sign my shirt?
His breathing patterns weren't too great, though.
No,
There's
no.
Oh, I
a
agree.
lot of work on
problems
there,
there, yeah.
but it's okay.
He'll work on that.
He'll get there.
He's a good boy.
We're moving on to the end of our 7th wonder here, which is just to go investigate this mansion, which the mansion seems a little bit weird. Might be coming back later. Kind of investigate a little bit more. Sure. For now, we're just going to watch a cutscene. And
How many times do we have to come back to this mansion? My goodness.
Yeah, let's get another donation out there.
We actually have a $500 donation from Avenger339 saying, "Hey, BB, when's the next plat run?"
Those are something. Hopefully the game doesn't crash, but yeah, sure.
All right, so we're being introduced to our second enemy of the game here. As soon as he finishes off this second dusk, it's going to be an assassin. Here it is. These assassins are pretty deadly. Again, we're on critical mode, and you haven't really seen him take any damage yet, but there are some things that'll one-shot him, as well as a lot of things that will two-shot him or three-shot him. So he has to actually make sure that he avoids that opening attack that the assassin gives and catches him in a combo quickly before he can get away.
Yeah, so a lot of it is about timing when your hit goes off, because a lot of them will have kind of a mechanic we just call super armor, where they'll take damage, but they won't actually stagger from anything. So we have to time stuff pretty specifically.
Yeah, super armor, brick wall. I like to call it brick wall,
Brick
but
wall, yeah. So we can actually fit in a few more donations while we're walking down here. There's not much downtime in this game, so we got to take it where we can get it.
No problem. We have a $10 donation from Anonymous that says, "Long-time watcher, first-time donator. Love the marathon every year, and this goes to Hellfire. By far the best Disney song."
I like how you gave a fist pump. You're like, I don't know what Hellfire is.
I don't. I want to hear it.
Yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah,
Make it happen, please.
Now, I also want to just say real fast, I would love it. I know everybody out there has been donating so generously. I know a lot of you are watching. I would love it if we could hit $900,000 raised for Doctors Without Borders by the end of all the Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Yeah.
So get on it, people.
Yeah. We've never actually hit 1 million on Friday, the second to last day. I think it'd be cool if we hit 900,000 during this and then push for 1 million during the Mario relay. I know you guys can do it. Let's make it happen.
All right, so now we're investigating the mansion finally.
we are almost out of Rox's section, which is nice. This is just it's a pretty slower section. It's the well-known tutorial section, but yeah, we're just about done here.
So we got 2 waves of enemies here. We've got these 4 dusks. Again, he's going to be trying to angle his attacks to where he's hitting multiple dusks at once. Once he kills 3 of these dusks, it will spawn the second wave. So once that happens, he's going to want to kill one of these assassins, move over, time that.
Ooh, dusk
that
interrupted him there.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So now he has to play it a bit safe because the second assassin could try to take him out while he's killing the first. It's looking like it might happen, but he's going to be able to retaliate just in time.
Nice reaction.
Excellent guard, and he should be able to take him out here now.
A little slobby, but not too bad.
All right.
As with a lot of RPGs, fights kind of can give you a million different patterns. You got to be able to adapt to any of them.
All right, so now we're in Super Saiyan form. We got 2 Keyblades. You'll be seeing this more later with Sora. But he's basically going to be finishing up this combo. That was actually 2 finishers there. Linking it into an air combo. It's going to push him into the wall. He has to mash out this triangle to make sure he gets the reaction command. Let him land to kind of set up this linking the ground combo into the air combo. Very nice. So basically what you just saw right there with Rox is having the 2 Keyblades. That was kind of showcasing a mechanic of this game called drive forms that we'll be seeing in just a little bit with Sora.
Foreshadowing.
One mechanic of it is that, normally, again, because finishers are so strong, we like to get to them as quickly as possible. By pressing square while you're in that form, you can go straight into it. Enjoy how quick menus are.
Yep. Now we're Sora, so we immediately steal all of our party members' items because
Cool menu.
we can use them a lot better. We can use our party members' items a lot better. We also set them to party attack, which basically you can change how your allies will attack enemies. You can change their AI behavior, and party attack will make them focus on enemies that you are not attacking with Sora.
Yeah. Coming up here, we have the summit fight. There are 3 different ways you can end this fight. One, you can either just deal enough hits to all the different enemies. You can just wait an amount of time. That's obviously the slowest way always to do it. Or we can die. Because we're on critical mode, we can do that pretty quickly in 3 hits, actually.
And that's the other reason we took all the potions and also unequipped Cure from Donald so he wouldn't stop us from taking a Death Abuse right here.
Nice. Obviously, that does cost you on getting potential experience there. It is worth noting on critical mode, they actually, you only get 75% of the experience that you would get for any of the other difficulties. So that does slow down your leveling a little bit, but we have ways to get around that.
Yeah, it's kind of this dance of where do I take my death abuse and where do I actually go for some experience? Where do I kill something along the way that is not necessarily required in order to get a big chunk of experience?
It's a pretty big part of the routing of critical mode since we actually do get the experience really does matter.
Now our friendly shadows are back.
Hey, you
and,
like these guys.
They're
You
the
played
worst
Cage 1.
enemy in the game. Say it right now.
Yeah.
They're the worst enemy in every game.
Yeah, they like to go underground, go into 2D mode, as we call it, and just waste a bunch of time. It's great. You'll see him picking up ethers here and potions. Potions are just good because they're actually a lot faster in this game than they are in Cage 1. You pop them, you get a lot of health back. Ethers, they actually effectively almost like nerfed the amount of ethers that were all over the place in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you go to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix because they realized how powerful they were. So there's only like 4 or 5 chests in the game we're actually going to be grabbing them from. You'll also just kind of a general theme is you're noticing Bloody using a lot more air combos. Air combos are just faster because once you land on the ground, it resets the animation. You don't have to like wait for an entire ground combo to go off. But obviously, like it's pretty obnoxious having to do air combos on these tiny, tiny little
Come on.
enemies.
There we go. Thanks, Donald.
Dude, nice job, Donald. Yeah, that was. I'm rooting for. It's not for you. This one's for Donald. It was a physical too.
We're going to have another wave coming up here shortly where we're going to be introduced to soldiers, who are also returning from Kingdom Hearts 1. And soldiers have a reaction command in this game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, reaction commands are pretty good. As Cyclone, it's a big sweeping attack that can hit multiple enemies.
So he's going to bait it out.
Going to try and bait it out by hitting this guy 3 times. I didn't actually get it that time, so we're just going to kill him. But we're going to try again when all the soldiers spawn. So right here, going to try and hit him 3 times. There we go. Got the double.
Nice
That's pretty
double.
good.
Too.
So
Donald
as
and
you
Goofy
see,
should take
that
care of the other
really
one.
shot.
There we go.
No, good job, Goofy. All right, yeah.
Our hands are going to be sore.
Oh my gosh.
Way too much fun.
Anytime Donald and Goofy does anything, I'm going to clap for it.
All right, so like I said, experience is a pretty big part of this run, so he kills that enemy right on the way. And
Yeah,
keeps on
I
moving.
combo him up the stairs. It's not like it really wastes any time at all. And it's just free experience and money. It's just kind of a cute little thing that I like to do.
Yep, so now we need to talk to Yensid and...
Just going to jump on his table and talk to him.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Oh, nice. You didn't talk to her.
Yeah, so our clothes are a little bit too small for us right now, so we need to get some new ones. And we get a new drive form, our first drive form as well.
Which is the full-out form, Valor form of what you saw with that last fight with Roxas against Axel. Probably fit in one quick donation.
No problem. We have a $100 donation
guys
from
hear them?
Death Paffer saying,
Chip
oh,
and Dale.
hey, 1,000 dimes. Hi, BB. Hope your run goes well. And remember to be the Blitzball.
Shout out to FF10, dude. It's a good game.
So Valor form is both useful, I mean, obviously for dealing damage, but also to just move faster.
You'll notice one of the
Nice.
other weird things here is we've lost Goofy, rather. We've lost Goofy. That's because when you use a drive form, you rely on the strength of one or both of your party members. Or sometimes none, but we'll get into that later.
All right, so starting off with a reversal here to try to line this up, go right into his double finisher again for me on crit.
Okay, I need
He's
to kill
looking
one
for
more
a
guy.
samurai spawn.
There he is.
There it is. Wants to get rid of this guy immediately because if he gets going, he can mess up the fight a lot.
There we go.
Okay,
Good
not
fight.
bad.
Yeah. There's a lot of like the kind of waves of enemies that come in this game. Some of them are based on you just kill an entire wave of enemies and then another wave will spawn. Some of them are set to like specific sets of enemies that need to go away and then they'll spawn in. So Bloody knew right there he had to kill a second Dusk and that's what would have spawned the Samurai.
To note, there's a chest in this area that Bloody could pick up for safety later, and this guy's such a madman. He's just going to completely ignore
He
it.
ain't gonna grab it.
I'm not scared. We're good. All right, this fight's a little bit on the tough side, especially early game. You guys can explain it?
Yeah, this fight has Dusks, it has Creepers, it has Assassins, or it has Samurai, and the worst enemy in this game is Leon. He sucks, dude. You want him to go. So the reason why we're killing these enemies in the back is to make Leon target the enemies up at the gate. We want him to stay up there. This is looking good. Because what's going to happen is after you kill all 5 of these, a bunch of Samurai are going to spawn with Creepers around them. And we want to use the Samurai's reaction command, Dual Stance.
Yeah, dual stance is a very cool reaction command. You'll see he'll guard here, hit triangle, and then have to look for the end command. It could appear on any
All right,
one
so
of
they
those
killed
4
all
things.
of them.
That's
Get
pretty
another
good.
nice dual stance here. Could probably take out a couple Dusks as well. No,
Oh,
unfortunately,
they
they
were
kind of
just
dodged
about.
it. So now he's going to
Yeah,
dual stance this
sure.
just because why not at this point? And now it's time to clean up some Dusks.
You can see Leon likes to hit things and knock them up the air.
Very
out of your
thankfully, Leon's
combos.
actually towards the gate,
Yeah.
so all these guys are rounded up. I need a good lock on. There we go.
Yeah, trying to obviously line it up to where the blizzards are hitting everything.
Yeah, I want the collateral damage. That's one good thing about Blizzard. There we
Nice.
go.
There we go.
That was good.
We didn't really mention it, but we did get magic there. We got Blizzard. Dax, can you give us a fast explanation of how magic works in this game before
Yeah,
we
so
get into our
magic-
first song?
Magic is a lot more varied than it used to be in KH1. They actually kind of gave, for example, like when we get fire, you'll see a sort of kind of a barrier that acts around Sora. Blizzard is sort of a projectile shotgun thing. What's cool about this game is that they made magic combo in a similar way that physical hits do, and you can interchange them as well. So like one physical hit, magic, another physical hit will lead to a finisher, and it won't actually sort of break it apart. And we get a lot of really interesting setups and combos out of it. It's a lot of utility.
All right, cool. We're going to be getting our first song coming up here, which is I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. And the main reason is because, well, we're going to the Mulan world.
And you donated for it.
And you donated. Yeah, that too.
All right, are we ready to go? You guys gonna sing with me, right? Yeah, let's do this. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did you send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're the saddest bunch I've ever met, but you can bet before we're through, Mister, I'll make a man out of you. Tranquil as a forest, but on fire within. Once you find your center, you are sure to win. You're a spineless, pale, pathetic lot, and you haven't got a clue. Somehow I'll make a man out of you.
I'm never gonna catch my breath.
Sing about it, those who knew me.
Boy, I was a fool in school for cutting gym.
Hope he doesn't see right through me.
Now I really wish that I knew how to swim.
Be a man, you must be swift as a coursing river. With all the force of a great typhoon. With all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Time is racing toward us until the Huns arrive. Heed my every order, and you might survive. You're unsuited for the rage of war, so pack up, go home, you're through. How could I make a man out of you? Be a man, you must be swift as a coursing river. With all the force of a great typhoon. With all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Come on, chat, with me. Be a man, you must be swift as a coursing river.
man.
With all the force of a great typhoon.
Be a man.
With all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Ha!
All right, now come play the video game. You hit it? Okay.
Beautiful.
Team run. We're doing it. All right.
All right, so you saw how slow that menu went. Now we'll get to see how fast Bloody does them. It's weird. I was trying to warn you.
Oh, did you guys get tripped up on that? I apologize.
All right, so we're in Land of Dragons now, as you might have told by the song. And now we're actually going to be doing this little fight before we head into a few missions. And it features a lot of shadows and Nightwalkers, which are not very fun enemies, but that went pretty quickly. We're going to be using Valor a lot throughout this world because it's our main form of movement right now.
It's also so all of your different drive forms will actually level up as you use them from different things. Valor form in particular levels up from just dealing hits with it. So right here, instead of him just going straight to the finisher, like I said you could do with it, instead you try to time, you can't guard while you're in Valor form, so it makes it a little more dangerous. But as you saw there on the left side, it just went up to level 2, meaning every time he uses it after now, he'll have one more kind of drive gauge to work with, making it last a little bit longer. Swapping in Donald right there, because Donald's Thunder is actually really strong.
Yeah, and once he took out the Nightwalkers, he just completely reverted from the drive form because fire is really good for AoE, especially with these shadows who are in the ground.
Very tippity-tip.
On top of that, he needs to actually build his drive up again. And your drive builds up as you deal damage to enemies, and sometimes magic really builds it up very quickly.
Okay, so we got a couple waves to this fight right here. We first got all these shadows. He's just going to wait to kind of drag them all to the middle, bait them all in, and then use fires. Now, once they're all gone, he'll have 3 Nightwalkers to deal with here. One full 4-hit combo will take out each of them.
So he was a little bit worried that one of them might attack him there, so went with the fire to be safe. Now he's got an Assault Rider. These enemies are very dangerous, but he needs to make sure that or he knows rather when he's going to attack and how to avoid it.
Got 2 Nightwalkers and 1 Assault Rider here. Donald usually is going to mess around with that other Nightwalker. That's fine. He's just going to focus on the Assault Rider right here,
Luckily,
pushing him away from the Nightwalker.
Yeah, the Nightwalker didn't bother him, so that was a pretty good mission. Mission 2 is the hardest of the 3 and very easy to die on.
Now, the most annoying one is definitely this last one, Mission 3. All of them spawn pretty much one at a time. So he's got, first of all, see if we can snipe this idiot.
Nice. Very good. It's
Cuts out a lot of movement time.
A lot harder than it looks. And now he'll be using fire for most of the shadows here because fire does damage the entire time it's spinning around you. So you can use it while they're still under the ground but about to come up to try to catch them before they go right back under again.
There we go, the double
I
snipe.
actually didn't know that shot through the tent, so I promise I run this game.
Another fire here. Now we've got some Nightwalkers to take care of, and then we're going to be going back into Valor form for some movement immediately after this mission, which is why he swapped Goofy back in. Because like I said, you need Goofy for Valor form.
Also, the explosion to go into drive forms when you're going Super Saiyan can kill them as well, can deal damage as well. So just cuts out the time having to watch him go into those forms. It was much more important on the prior versions of this game, like PS2 and PS3. PS4, like we said, cut out all the loads. Now you pretty much have used the drive form, you go it instantly. So, all right, we're climbing up this mountain. There are 3 rock walls we have to bust through here, which we have to use a reaction command in order to get through. Very nice. A little subtle lock-on he did right there. Oh, nice reaction right there. Yep. Little subtle lock-on he'll do right there. There's lots of subtle just where you want to, which enemy you want to lock onto, and what angle you want to go at them from in order to catch other enemies in attacks. Now here he's actually spawning both of these Nightwalkers, but not killing them, because normally an Assault Rider will spawn right here in front of this wall, but if there are 2 Nightcrawlers on screen, or Nightcrawlers, yeah.
There are a couple of worms
X-Men's
on
cool.
screen.
Yeah, there are enemies on screen, it can't load it.
Yeah, and he's moving into the next fight, the cave fight, where his party will change. Goofy, rather, will be removed from his party, so he'll automatically revert from Valor form. And he's going to have to do this fight without Valor. He'll be using quite a bit of magic on the shadows here. As you can see, there are a lot of them. But first, he's going to take out this Assault Rider because he is a big pain.
Yeah, waiting for him to bait out that attack and then jumping over the attack. Now he's going to try to get them in this corner once again, just to keep hitting all of them with fires. He's trying to not use a 3rd fire, which would actually count as a finisher because it will knock them all away. So he just does a couple of hits there, make sure to spawn in the rest of those shadows after he's killed enough of them, and then pull them back again.
And luckily, shadows all drop health as well, so even though he got hit a couple times, he's still pretty safe. Now he has to pay attention to which Assault Rider uses which attack. And he's going to take out this one while keeping a close eye on the second one, and luckily he didn't get in the way.
Very nice.
So we're having a pretty good fight here. Good, there it is.
Yeah, you're given the leniency of getting in 3. Very nice, yep.
So now Goofy's back in our party, so what do you think we're going to do?
Move
Valor.
fast.
Valor form.
Now, to know there'll be better options for movement later on. This is just all we have access to really right now. They gave you those skateboards in the Roxas section, but those are going to be almost non-existent throughout the rest of the game. All right, so this is probably another good place for donations. What's happening here on the summit fight, or up here, is that he's going to have to just take out as many Heartless as he can, get as much money and experience as he can before, I think it's a minute, runs out.
And to note, not all of these Heartless are actually loaded with hitboxes and stuff, even though you can see all of them. So that's why he can't necessarily just take out all of them at once with some magic or something. But yeah, we can get some donations in.
No problem. We have a $10 donation from We Are Groot that says, Kingdom Hearts is and always will be my favorite franchise. To see this game again brings back wonderful memories. Hopefully, we will see the Kingdom Hearts 3 at SGDQ 2018?
2022!
2020?
I don't know about all that, but thank you, Groot, for the donation.
We have a $50 donation from Mets Monkey that says, I wanted to donate during one of my favorite games of my childhood. I will donate another $50 if the couch does an impersonation of their favorite characters from the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yuck.
I have to think about it.
You found your first love, and he found you too.
I hate every character.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I know, that's why I jumped on Goofy, dude.
Handsome, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I like Billy Zane. He does a good job.
Darth Vader. Yep. Okay, anyways. So yeah, now Ping has actually turned into a new character. She has turned into Mulan. So we just got our first limit of the game. Her red rocket, which we'll see one usage of here in a little bit. But once again, even though we're only going to be in Valor form here for like a few screens, it's still faster to use the explosion and move with it.
One of the nice things about the PS4 version, as we mentioned, they removed basically all the loads, which allows us to do some cool map warps that we couldn't do before.
We'll save warp right there, save some time. Gets us down to the bottom of the mountain, just like that.
Oh, you didn't get the fire bangle there?
We already bought it, didn't we?
Did we?
No, he did not. I don't think he did.
I did.
No,
No, I just equipped
okay.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Oh, you just equipped it? Oh, that's weird.
I knew
We don't-
Spike didn't, so I
Gosh,
wasn't sure.
we're great commentators. All right. Anyway.
There's a reason why I'm playing the video game here.
There was singing going on.
I love you guys, don't worry.
I had like a minute-long menu there. This will take like 12 seconds.
All right, anyways, here's Red
Red
Rocket.
Rocket,
This
yeah.
is the limit that Spike was alluding to earlier. Limits allow you to team up with your party members, and generally they have a triangle action and an action at the top of your command menu there. So a lot of triangle uses, gets rid of all the Nightwalkers, and then he just has to clean up a few Assault Riders.
Die?
All right, so that's the first time that 2 of them have survived.
Yeah,
So
That's okay.
that's never happened before.
There's just
for
randomness
GDQ.
with how the fireballs will drop down. So, all right, Shan Yu, our final boss of Land of Dragons right here. So there's an HP gate. This is, I guess, the first instance of the game where we're seeing HP gates, where the game just wants wants the player to get to see all the content of the game and see the second phase. So he's actually going to slow down his combo once he gets to that point. First up, he's going to bait out this reaction command, deflect it, and then use it. Because he has reaction boost on critical mode, that does a big old chunk of damage. So the HP gate's going to be in just like a few hits from now, so he's going to
Right
slow down his
here.
combo
Gonna
here.
be slow down. Nice.
Very nice.
Very good.
All right.
All right, we're gonna get out of that. On a potion, I'm gonna go for a parry actually instead of a guard. Got it.
Yeah.
Got
all
it.
right.
And
That's
now
actually hard to tell.
watch the health bar here. You'll see how much that reaction command does. Big chunk.
See you, nerds.
There you go.
Nice. That's the end of Land of Dragons.
All right, so what's our second Disney song? Let's be better about setting this one up.
Oh man, these are so fast
Looks
now.
like it's going to be a whole new world.
All right.
Really?
Oh, let's start moving.
Well-
Whoever's doing it.
All right, I've got this one.
You, yeah.
This one's easy.
You got it.
Circle and X or switch.
All right. We good to go? All right.
Hello.
Hi. Would you like to escape the palace, see the world? Do you trust me?
Yes.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes and take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your breath,
things
it
to
gets
see.
better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I
A whole
used to
new
be. Every turn a
world
surprise.
with new horizons
Every
to
moment red
pursue.
letter.
I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world.
A whole new world.
That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll
A
be.
thrilling chase.
A wondrous place
for you and me.
Thank you for your donations.
Man, look at you go. You didn't die.
And what's best is now you don't have to do any menus.
I was like, oh, I hope a whole new world ends before we get to the menus.
All right, so yeah, we never really explained it, but gummy missions are auto-scrollers of the game.
Right, there are no ways.
Yeah, they're just kind of how we traverse between worlds. You see, there's all these borders between the worlds.
Right.
And there's usually a lot of like bad stuff going on in the worlds.
We need to break those down.
Yeah, because they need a lot of doctors over there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
So we're really just kind of opening these borders up so we can get the doctors across the borders.
Right.
Yeah.
900,000 by the end of it. Yo, do we have any donations, Edo?
Oh, I have plenty of donations.
Yeah, read them. We're just going to be walking to Hades.
Yeah.
No problem. I have a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, this community is one of the best. Good luck, Bloody. This goes to Spike's choice. I'll donate another 25 if we can get Spike's best impression of Kingdom Hearts is light.
Kingdom Hearts is light.
That was
All right, so
great.
here's some real talk. Y'all got to realize we never watch the cutscenes of these games. So when I was like 12 and I heard that, maybe better. Anyways.
Adam asked me to explain the story once. It didn't go so well.
There's probably like there's like that 3-hour lecture on the Kingdom Hearts like series
I
like
don't know.
story.
I thought Final Fantasy games were complicated.
No. So yeah, more donations. Sure.
Yeah.
No problem. I have a $15 donation from Super Saiyan 5 that says, good luck, buddy. Have loved the series from the start and always enjoyed seeing it crushed. Never hit 1 million on Friday, huh? All right, Spike, I'll give my part. Here's $15 to your choice for the inspiration. 1 million hype. Oh my gosh.
I love that this is probably the only game in which you can say, we're just walking to Hades. Not all that interesting, you know?
We just want to say hi.
It's just a real casual strut.
By the way, we're still walking to Hades, so keep going, Edo.
All right. Prince of the Universe donates $10 that says, I'll donate another 10 if someone on the couch just attempts to explain the entire plot of Kingdom Hearts in no more and no less than 10 words.
Dax, go.
All right.
Kid with key saves the universe.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Hell yeah. All right. All right, so Hades Escape. This is one of the most punishing potential deaths he can have in the run. He's going to be working with Orin here, who has a limit himself. We're going to try to not use that. Try to kind of conserve it, because when you use a limit, it completely depletes your MP. And MP is a great way to deal damage, stay safe. So the first thing he's doing is he locked onto that shadow on the ground. and then he used a fire on all of those hook bats because their reaction command is also very powerful, that hook bat, or bat cry, in order to just hit everything around you. So we got 3 different tiers we have to work for here. Going into the second tier, he's going to get into this corner. Hades is being a jerk, and there's nothing you can do to stop him.
He's having to adapt here. Normally, he would have liked to do some Blizzard spam on these enemies, but because of Hades' position, he's having to make this up on the fly. Ooh, taking 1 hit there, but he's got a Lance Tug RC now, so we should be good there. Takes out the second Lance Soldier. Those are really the more difficult enemies on this platform.
He was able to pop off a quick potion there, so we're going into the final tier, but there's actually 2 waves of Heartless here. He's first going to move off to the right side, hit a hook bat, drop to the ground. That will bait out his bat cry, and hopefully be able to just about kill each of these Lancers.
And Hades just keeps coming right up to him, man. He's really not letting it go.
Okay.
Come here, you. Oh, wow.
All right,
amazing.
Orin kind of deflecting. So we got, once again, like, you can kind of see how quickly that health is going down. He's only working with 2.
Second wave of enemies now. He's going to, again, use Bat Cry, but he's going to try to make sure that he hits all of the enemies in this, especially that large body there. And now he's going to play it safe, go straight into Orin's limit.
I don't like Hades' position right there.
Anytime you use a limit, that just like the Mulan limit we used earlier, you're completely invulnerable while the limit is still going on. But as soon as it ends, you could be hit.
Okay, not bad.
We're
good.
I've seen this before.
Very, very difficult thing to do on critical mode. I'm sure if you've tried it at home, you probably died there several hundred times.
I died once walking into that loading zone.
While a fireball
sniped me in the back, cold-blooded. That's a great fight. Lost 2 minutes. It was great. Hey, Edo, you got a donation?
Yes, I do. I actually have a $100 donation from Biscuit047.
Yo!
What up, Biz?
It says bloody. It's the other biscuit.
Yo, my brother.
Everyone is catching on about our secret about being brothers. I blame Ace's Christmas card photo. Anyway, I'm donating $10 per death. Don't make me homeless. Good luck on your run. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
All right, turn back. There are a few more enemies that can kill you right
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, if you're owing us $10 per death, I got some bad news for you. Because here comes Cerberus.
Oh, no.
Yo, $10 for charity,
no.
everyone. All right.
All right.
Biz, I am counting that. I'm holding you to that one.
So there's this weird mouse creature on screen.
Oh, gosh.
Mickey Mouse
It's actually pretty good.
is a mechanic in the game where anytime you die on certain boss battles, certain fights, Mickey has a chance to show up. And Mickey just happens to deal a lot more damage than Sora can to Cerberus quickly, and is a lot safer. And on top of that, we know 100% that Mickey will show up in this fight.
There are only, I think it's like 7 or 8 specific fights that Mickey can show up in. The first time you die in one of those fights, in this instance Cerberus, he knows he's going to. So very nice. Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was a good job, Mickey. Good job. The first time you die in one of those fights, Mickey will show up 100% of the time. Like the second time, potentially it drops to like 85% or something. I don't know the exact numbers, but ideally that is the only time we're going to see Mickey throughout the entire run.
He might use him as a backup if he dies somewhere, but other than that, he's not guaranteed, so we don't rely on him.
The other thing about Mickey is that, like, really early on in the game, his damage scales, like, dramatically so that he does a lot more damage than anything else that I could have done right there, so that's why that's, like, super fast. Later on in the game, his Pearl damage is pretty bad. It doesn't scale well, so we're just not going to be, hopefully, not seeing him much later on.
And now we're in a more familiar part of Olympus Coliseum, which is kind of the actual Coliseum itself.
Right.
The entire time before this, we've been in the underworld.
We got to do some urn training.
Yep, we're going to have to kill a bunch of urns here. We need to pick up 20 orbs for this first mission, and then the second one, we have to pick up 100. And other than that, it's really just kind of combo them and try to form them into large groups and wait for the big urn to be spawned in the second one. So, Edo, you could probably throw in about 2 more donations.
No problem. We have a $100 donation from Beckworth that says, hey guys, Beck here. Missing all of you guys. January can't get here fast enough. Good luck, BB. I know you're going to do well.
Yeah, I'll see you at AGDQ, Beck.
All of my money is going towards Hellfire because I can only imagine how good it will sound with Zem's voice.
Yo, Edo, so what's like the standings right now of Disney songs, third place and below? Again, we're doing them in descending order. So.
It's a very, very close match actually right now with Little Mermaid Part of Your World and actually, wow, Beauty and the Beast Gaston. They're like just about like $100 like difference.
All right.
Yeah, and then you have Hellfire right after Gaston. That's also like only like $10 difference from those two. So
Wow.
Make it happen.
Between Hellfire and the sixth song, you're saying? or-
between Hellfire and Gaston, it's like a $10 difference.
Okay. Again, we are doing the top 5 songs, guys. I think, Bloody, you put like 12 songs in there maybe or something?
10. I put 10.
10 songs.
Top 5.
They show up pretty quickly, so get those donations in fast.
Right there, he just picked up and equipped the power, or you rather use the power boost. That's the only power boost we're going to see in the entire game. So, yeah, so it gives you a power boost, believe it or not. Equipped a couple of abilities and also switched the customize of Donald and Goofy there to Sora attack, which, what does Sora attack do again? I forgot.
So Sora Attack's actually like a really unique AI mechanic in this game where it turns them off from doing any attacks. They'll only heal you and give you items.
Yo, Goofy, that was sick.
That was pretty good. His shield is a giant hitbox.
Just running blind, nailed him.
Picked up another ether on his way. He's going to be meeting another one of the organization members, the evil crew of bad guys. He's going to be meeting another one of the members, just like Axel earlier on. This is going to be Demix.
Yeah, and so we're actually not really fighting Demix himself. One of his gimmicks is going to spawn 100 water clones right here. And the basic idea is when you hit them, they go from this kind of more like human-like form into a musical note form. Then you can use a reaction command from them called Wild Dance. The hardest part about it is that Sora's auto lock-on is constantly changing to just like whatever's closest to him or whatever specific angle you might be standing at. So it's really hard to control it considering it jumps in 3 phases like that. You want to stay close to Demix because that's where the other water clones will spawn from.
On top of that, if you ever don't catch a reaction command in time, it will one-shot you.
Yes. So they'll turn into note form, and then you've got a handful of seconds to use them, and then critical mode, they'll one-shot you. They do a lot of damage even on beginner for whatever reason. They really punish you.
Yeah, probably one of the most, oddly that enemy in particular is one of the most damaging enemies in the entire game.
Yeah. We also haven't really been explaining, I don't know if we explained it or not, but we couldn't use Valor Form all throughout Olympus Coliseum when we're in the Underworld version. It's just something you're locked out of. It's a story thing. But now beating Demix there, now we can use it, which is denoted by, if you look at the UI, look at Sora's UI in the bottom right corner, his icon, that drive, the max. Since it's there, that means we can use our drive forms now.
Yeah, and he's into the Pete fight now. The reason he's not really going up and attacking Pete right now is Pete has 2 phases. And the first phase is completely timed. It's just you need to survive.
Yeah, I'm going to make him orb there, and he should spawn them right here. There we go.
So all he's trying to do right now is kill off the waves of enemies as fast as he possibly can. Because if he's very quick, then Pete will actually summon a 3rd wave of enemies.
It's also important to note that Meg, she's got her damage meter in the top left corner. She can also die, and that would end the fight.
Yeah.
So.
Shoutouts to my friend Andre, who actually had Meg die in here because the bats just destroyed her with Bat Cry.
Wow.
His face,
baby,
when that happened, was pretty priceless.
Oh, we got 1 extra.
We got 1 extra.
All right, so now we're into the real Pete fight, and this fight is really awful.
If
if you die, you go all the way back to before the timed fight.
All right, nice. So he's going to dodge those ghost enemies. Those ghost enemies are very, very powerful. Going to try to. It looks like he only used 1 Bat Cry right there. Stay away! Stay away! Stay away! Stay away!
Okay, yeah. You could see those little missiles just following him. We were really hoping it wouldn't hit him.
That little ghost fart was following you the whole time. So Bloody was kind of using a technique where he was never using the finisher, which would have caused a lot of recovery time, a lot of recovery animation, and making sure he was just constantly using those quick air hits, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then dropping down to reset them over and over again, so that Pete wouldn't potentially go into his pinball phase.
And after beating Pete, you actually get access to an ability called Trinity Limit, which is incredibly useful and does this.
Yeah, it's the perfect tool for this sort of fight.
Yeah, the way it works is it has 3 different types of the attack that you can see in the bottom left corner that you can use for it that all add up to this hit counter. And then once you finish the attack, once you try to hit, triangle, square, X again, you can it will use a finisher, which will do more damage the more hits that you got.
And now we're on his back, and we're going to use the RC.
Which will knock these 3 heads down instead of having to fight them while they're up in the air.
He also equipped ethers into his actual inventory earlier because he's been picking them up, but he hasn't really been using them yet. They're going to be pretty useful in this fight.
There is the potential he might not have to use the ether, so he used Trinity Limit back there once. He's definitely going to have to use it a second time. You see, it's just enough time to where his MP recharged right there. Now he's going to lock onto a specific head and use 2 more phases of Trinity.
Hopefully we can get a quick kill here. A lot of it is kind of luck dependent here on what head pattern I get, so we're just going to have to see what happens.
So if he gets
I'm also in a weird position, so
if he gets the quick kill, this is going to be his last Trinity usage in this fight.
Ooh, that did a ton of
Okay, that's a good head pattern. Okay, so... Oh, that's not good.
Slide dash.
Okay.
So now having to alternate between these heads as they swing around, and while you're still trying to dodge all of these...
Ether and also potentially like 15 seconds.
Yes.
Instead of having to use another Trinity limit.
Ethers are pretty tight in this route. They took most of them out of the original Kingdom Hearts 2, so we have to be pretty careful with not just spamming them all the time.
Plus, the more you pick up, the more time it takes, so you really want to try to use less if you can.
All right, so now instead of actually jumping right into the next going mission and going to Beast Castle, this is forced after you beat 2 of these Disney Worlds. They come back and they want to show you the 100-acre wood. We don't have to actually go here and like collect pages and go in and do the mini games, but once they force us in here, technically twice.
Yeah, this is where we're going to get our first summon of the run, and Chicken Little is quite useful throughout the run. You're going to see him used a lot. I'm going to do a little Keyblade change here. That's a big reason why we went to Olympus Coliseum, was to get Hero's Crest. Has a good ability, air combo boost, to boost our air combos. What a surprise. And does a little bit more damage, so good stuff.
All right, soldiers are strong, so yeah.
Perfect. Another one of those fights we can death abuse through.
Again, all those fights can end in one of 3 ways. You either just waste enough time, you deal enough hits, that one you can just end the fight by killing all of them, or you can just take enough damage. So.
Now that he's done with that, we're going to be coming up to the next coming mission, which also means the next song. So, Edo, what's it going to be?
Oh my goodness, it was such a close one, but we are doing Hunchback of Notre Dame with Hellfire.
All right.
Wow. All right.
Where's Zem? Get up here.
Thank God we don't have to do a county mission.
Yes.
Bloody can take care of that one. All right. So again, guys, we're going to be doing 5 total of these.
This is number 3. You only got 2 left.
Zim, I love you.
Check. Okay, cool.
Click, clack.
Here we go.
All right, since I'm way less professional than these 2.
Dude, I was going to go over the phone as well. Don't even feel bad.
Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud. Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. I feel her, I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control. Like fire, hellfire, this fire in my skin, this burning desire is turning me to sin. It's not my fault. I'm not to blame. It is the gypsy girl, the witch who sent this flame. It's not my fault. It fit God's plan. He made the devil so much stronger than a man. Protect me, Maria. Don't let this siren cast her spell. Don't let her fire sear my flesh and bone. Destroy Esmeralda and let her taste the fires of hell. Or else let her be mine and mine alone. Hellfire, dark fire, now gypsy, it's your turn. Choose me or your pyre, be mine or you will burn. God have mercy on her. God have mercy on me. But she will be mine, or she will burn.
Unbelievable.
Dude, we are rocking the house tonight.
Wow, dude.
Hey, look at that donation total. It's getting pretty close.
All right, 842,000 guys, 900,000 by the end of all the Kingdom Hearts stuff. You got a few hours left. Let's make it happen. Beast Castle, what is happening?
So in Beast Castle, we're introduced to the Beast.
Yeah,
Beast.
Yeah, he cool.
Okay.
All right.
But at the very
He's in the
beginning here, we're
castle.
instead going to have to fight some shadows or just use some fire on some shadows. You could, again, die to this one, but it's pretty quick to just use some fires into that Valor explosion there to take him out. Going to be buying a Sardonyx ring here that's going to give him some extra AP and
strength.
And strength.
Yeah.
+1 strength, +1 AP.
We're going to get an extra accessory slot later on, so we need some extra strength. Strength is probably the most important stat in the entire run.
We also didn't really explain this at the very beginning of the game, but another benefit of critical mode, in addition to all these extra abilities you get and that your damage is actually increased, is that you also get 50 bonus AP right at the start of the run, ability points in order to equip all of your abilities. So that allows us to not have to pick up AP boosts all around the area. So that's the only additional AP we'll be giving ourselves through equips.
Now we get a fun little mini game here where you try for a 2-cycle and never get it.
Did we ever decide if this is actually a thing or not?
It always looks like it.
It doesn't look like it.
And right after this, we're going to be fighting the next boss, the first boss of this world, which is Thresholder. Thresholder is one of those fights that actually surprisingly is a lot nicer on crit on runners anyways, because in every other version of the run, you can actually one-cycle the boss, but and it's usually very difficult, and you lose a ton of time if you miss it. But luckily in this version, you actually can't. But instead, we get to use Chicken Little, our first summon. Chicken Little is a cool property where he'll pull enemies that are far away from you closer in and group them together and stun them. And so he does that to get rid of the gargoyles, then again to take out the gargoyles. Or, sorry, I said that already. But then again to finish off the boss first, the first phase of the boss.
Yeah, he's the perfect crowd control. All right, good stuff. So a lot of this fight, thank you. It was pretty hard. A lot of this fight is dictated around getting a lot of experience. So that's why I went after a lot of the Heartless. We're going to be needing that experience in the next world. So, and we're not going to be seeing any other Heartless, so it's good to get it now.
There's a lot of little specifics to how Chicken Little works, but we'll get into that more in the next world. One thing, if you want to go ahead and point out what's nice about walking in here with Chicken Little out.
Oh yeah, so anytime the game changes your party members forcibly, like anytime it puts Donald and Goofy walking around here instead of actually being in your party.
Talking actors right now.
Exactly.
So they're out of the party.
Instead of actually helping you fight or anything like that. And anytime it does that, the game has to stop your use of a summon or a drive form, anything like that. And as long as you have that out, the game will automatically give you maximum drive because they didn't want to have you just immediately use Valor form and then immediately lose it and lose all your drive. Right. So it's actually a mechanic that we're going to abuse quite a bit in order to make sure that we have maximum drive at the ends of certain areas.
Yeah, because using Valor form and other forms later on will use up 3 or 4 total drive points. Right now we only have 3 that we're working with. Also using summons, those summons will also use up your drive bars.
Yes.
So all summons will use up 3 to note. All right, now we are making our way over to Beast, who is possessed by anger and stuff like that, whatever. We need to knock some sense into him, so... not a lot to this fight. You do need to use Cogsworth's reaction command to initially stun him. And then if Bloody does this right, he should be able to get in a full 1 cycle here.
Yep, there we go. Right as Beast is retaliating, he finished him off. So then another reaction command from Cogsworth, and he finishes off the fight.
Okay. So now we're going to be putting Beast into the fight. Again, he also has a specific, a world or character-specific limit to him called Howling Moon.
Yeah, and even before that, we're going to, just kind of mess with him here so he doesn't really attack the enemies.
There we go.
Okay. And then we're going to put on Upper Slash, which is a combo modifier we'll get into in a little bit. Also taking beast items, just like with every party member. And now we get to
I feel like
do
I
a
want to
nice,
be a little safe this marathon, but yeah.
yeah, nice PS4 save warp in order to move over to Belle's room where we find out she's not there.
And then save or immediately
Yeah.
back out and go to the parlor. Again, this is how fast the load times here. We get to utilize this a lot more. It is actually roughly the same speed from what I understand, whether you use that save warp or not. But what's nice about it is we can use Valor form to have to move less of a distance.
We're gonna have
so
to
we'll
use
have
Valor
more
in
of it
the-
in this fight.
Yeah, we're gonna have to use it in two fights, so we're gonna need as much of it as possible.
Little subtle thing right here at the beginning. If you move towards him, he'll do a certain attack, but if you just move backwards instead, that'll make him go into the ground. Now he's going to dodge this attack, not bother attacking him yet. Gonna go up in the chandelier. This shockwave does not hurt you, by the way, for whatever reason. Now he's going to try to actually attack him in a specific direction, shooting him back out there. Now we're gonna go for windowless. Do we get it?
Yeah, good job.
That is a lot harder than it looks, by the way.
And that's just one of 2 fights that are chained together here. So you see that he has about 1.5 bars of drive form there. That's going to carry over into this next fight. He's going to start in Valor form.
Yeah, so he's gonna start off with a bunch of orbs. That's gonna make it really, really difficult to actually hit him. And it's also very dangerous to me. I can only take 3 of these.
Yeah, so he does quick double
Or 2
finisher
of
there,
them.
reverts, and then he's going to
This
jump
is fine.
into a Beast Limit, Twin Howl. He's going to use some damage from Beast Limit, and this is also just going to help manipulate the boss to not, you know, kind of move around and go into a very long time-wasting attack. Then he uses Upper Slash, that ability, that combo modifier we talked about before, knock him into the air, finish him off. That fight gets incredibly obnoxious if you don't do that very specifically, because he'll start jumping up into the chandeliers, swinging around all the pillars and everything. It's really not a fun time.
It's kind of a common theme in Kingdom Hearts where if you damage them quite a bit, they're going to start using their more powerful attacks, their crazier attacks to guard and just survive in general. So a lot of times we'll try to get them to a very specific HP level, like he was there right before Beast Limit. Yo, that was dope. You can lock onto worlds and then like warp right in front of them, so it can be pretty tight tech.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be trying to like get them to a specific bar and then just try to melt all of it in kind of one hyper extended combo a lot of the time.
Now we're at Disney Castle, where just, you know, things have gone bad. Tends to happen when the king is away.
Yeah. So what ends up happening here is we're going to lose Valor because once again we're going to lose Donald and Goofy, and then we're actually going to have to do 2 escort missions here with Minnie. Now Minnie, it might be an escort mission, but she's the one doing all the work in these fights or whatever you want to call them. If you stand right next to her and you use her Pearl reaction command, she does this.
Well,
Ooh,
this.
got him right past. You told me you weren't going to do that yesterday.
That's in the next one. Oh, I guess
Oh.
I'm sorry. I messed up for you. Ooh, all right.
You deserve that. All
I
right.
did.
Ideally, Minnie never gets hit, and you can keep constantly bringing her over and having her
Yeah.
use.
Her getting hit at the end of the dash isn't nearly that bad because she gets the full distance, and you can still use the reaction command pretty quickly. It's if she gets hit like as I'm going right here. Like if she gets hit before she even
shadow.
moves, we're good. Nice.
So she can only move, every time you call her, she only moves a certain distance. So it's actually faster just to move then up to her and use the Pearl reaction command to sort of reset her and then be able to call her again immediately.
Yeah, we get a second escort mission here where we're going to let Edo talk for a little bit. But just before that, I want to point out that at the end of this mission, he's also going to get that extra accessory slot and equip that Sardonyx ring he bought earlier. So go for it, Edo.
All right, oh my goodness. We have a $15 donation from Suzushiro that says, now I want to buy the official soundtrack to Games Done Quick, the musical.
Which is a really weird hodgepodge of Disney songs, apparently.
And one aria.
And one aria. That kind of came out of nowhere.
We have a $1,000 donation from Anonymous
Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you.
that says, Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite video game series, so I had to donate during it. The runners, commentators, singers, and announcer are doing a great job making this an awesome run to watch. 900K hype.
We can do it. I believe.
846. That's gone up 7,000 since I looked back there like 5 minutes ago. So let's do it, guys.
We also got a $1,300 donation from Fangamer
Wow.
That is a number.
saying, hey, it's Fangamer. These live performances of Disney songs are amazing. Keep up the good work. You're melting our hearts. Oh.
I'll take all the credit because I said be a man.
Angel fun.
We have a $100 donation from Anonymous that says, here's my favorite game growing up. Is Edo singing part of your world if it wins? No. Let's make it happen, chat.
Yo, do you want to sing my song?
Gaston, you mean?
Dude, you'd be perfect. All right, moving on.
Anyways, Timeless River. So this is where you're going to check your speakers, your headphones, and wonder what went on with the game audio. They just kind of went with this old-timey look and old-timey feel with the sound, too.
They're going for the aesthetics.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is old-timey Pete on top of that.
That was
It's
dope.
pretty easy.
Yeah. Once again, they're kind of another usage of that, getting in so many hits with the automatic air hits and then dropping to reset the combo and then going for it. Because once he gets hit with a finisher and he falls to the ground, he'll a lot of times jump up and run around. You can't control him.
Yeah.
All right, so Chicken Little. This is Chicken Little World. There's a lot of specifics to how Chicken Little work. The main idea is you need Chicken Little to be right next to you and all of the enemies on screen to be far away. That's what will kind of get him to pull them back in. So you hit him with that thunder, knocking him up in the air, and then he sucked them right back down. Now we're going to be using
back
these
to the
reaction
middle
commands.
for the reaction commands as all the new waves of enemies spawn. He's also going to do a cheeky little fire here on top of the reaction command.
right.
I don't think it quite landed on them though, so he's going to have to drop back down.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Now
That's
there
about the best that could have gone without actually getting all of the RCs to kill.
Yeah, and there are 4 of these windows. We'll be using Chicken Little in 3 out of the 4 of them.
A lot of specifics to this fight right here.
Oh, yeah.
Bloody, you probably know a little more than me.
Yeah, so we're going to suck these guys into the very beginning. And then we want Chicken Little to be very precisely positioned so that as these guys spawn, they also get sucked in like while they're in midair. So right here. Perfect. All
Very
right.
nice.
Get the double fire here. We're going to position Chicken Little over here so that he'll whistle. Okay. He might do that. It's okay. Not the end of the world. Going to go for a combo. All right. He pulled them right back in. We're going to just do some cleanup. Now I want all 4 of these guys to be sucked in. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for.
There's going to be one more random hammer enemy that pops in after these guys. Their last resort.
All right. Not too bad.
Maybe next time.
Honestly, it's that fight can go just like a myriad of ways, and you can just easily die to like the airplanes. So I'm okay with that.
And the hammers have a ground shake attack once they hit the ground.
Yeah, a
that
big
can also
gigantic
do.
shockwave.
Once again, Chicken Little comes out and the enemies come in.
All right. Need him to whistle these guys in. Well, most of them.
A couple of them went underground, so you might have to do a little bit of cleanup here.
Like this guy.
There it is. So now we have hot rods, which are some of the more frustrating enemies in this game, especially casually. They have this kind of big super armor attack when they get really low, which is unfortunately really hard to deal with casually. But with Chicken Little, he'll actually throw a firecracker at him, or a baseball at him, and knock him up into the air, which lets us steal them. On top of that, he could just kind of pull him in. You can finish him off with physical combos.
Okay.
And he stunned that one with the baseball. And
I get the feeling that we're going to get Berserk here. Yeah, we are. Okay. Now I'm looking for a baseball, I think. There we go.
There
My,
we go.
my boy
Thank
Chicken
you.
Little's got my back.
Yeah.
yeah, that hot rod, while it was kind of sitting there dancing and stuff, it was completely invulnerable from attacks from Sora. So have to wait on Chicken Little to use the baseball.
Yeah, so we're not going to actually use Chicken Little this time around because we aren't going to get that drive refill that those guys were talking about. So instead, we're going to be using a Trinity Limit on these guys, but in a really weird way.
Yeah, he's going to kill off this second wave, and then he's going to just move into the wall and shoot it with the Mega Overdrive portion.
Yeah, it
And
turns
then,
out there's a minimum amount of damage that Trinity Limit will do when it hits the finisher, and that will kill all of these rapid thrusters. So he just wants to get to that finisher as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you have to always use at least one of those 3 phases up to all 3 in order to actually get that finisher.
Yep, now we get to go back into Valor form. We're going to go fight Boat Pete.
He's on a boat. Yeah, so Valor actually even increases the damage along with reaction boost for these attacks right here, just hitting the trash back at him. Now with Bloody is actually, while he's kind of waiting to get on this hook, he's going to open up this chest, giving him a synth item. And we'll get to that later in the game in a few hours. So
Yeah, that synth item is really not going to be useful until the very end.
now, at any random time, that reaction command will pop up that will fling you over. If you do not press triangle before it comes over, yeah,
Unlucky.
that's extremely unlucky,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Pretty bad luck.
Normally, almost always, he's going to let you get in 2 full combos, which is important because that finisher does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
yeah,
the problem is that when you're using a finisher, you're locked out from using the reaction
Right.
command, so that's why
Exactly.
Bloody wasn't able to hit it there.
Yeah, so he'll a lot of times do 2 full combos and then switch to 1-2s so that his recovery time is better.
But now we're coming up to the first fight where we want to really explain a pretty crucial concept in this game called revenge value.
There are a lot of important boss mechanics. This is probably the most important one.
Yeah, we're going to be fighting Pete for the second and final time here. And revenge value is this weird concept in the game that determines when enemies will retaliate, like when they'll attack you back. Otherwise, you know, if you just kept hitting them over and over, they would never retaliate, and every boss would be completely easy. So you need to let them break out in some manner. It turns out that the way that they did that is they have a value in the game that is just a number. It says like 14 or something. When Pete hits the number 14 for revenge value, he's going to retaliate.
12.5.
Oh, okay. Wow, that was pretty close.
That was not bad.
12.5.
So
and now every single attack in the game does different amounts of, adds different amounts to that counter, to that revenge value. So a single hit might only add 1, but a fire might add 3 or something, or might add 2. So he's actually doing all of his combos specifically to manipulate the revenge value so that he knows exactly when Pete will be retaliating so he doesn't accidentally die in this fight.
And here in the final phase, Blaze is going to try to get a slide dash and a second hit in here because then that's going to allow him to only have to use 2 reaction commands to kill this nerd.
There you go.
Very good. If you didn't quite understand revenge value from that quick explanation, don't worry. We'll be bringing it up again and again, especially later at the near the end of this run.
We are right here at our 4th out of our 5 Disney songs we're going to sing. So, Edo, what are we going to be doing?
Oh boy, this was a really close one, but it looks like we are going to be singing Gaston.
Okay.
All right. Yo, don't have to do the gummy mission again. We get to just sit here.
Nice.
Awesome. How you doing, Bloody? We're heading over to Port Royal, by the way, or the or the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
I love how this is a year and a half later and we still don't know the words.
I can't memorize lines. All right, we on? Okay, cool.
Okay, wait, hold on. Give me like 2 seconds.
All right, Spike, move 1 step to your right.
What?
Move 1 step to your right.
To my right. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, we got this.
hey,
Yeah, these handy spikes right here.
The technology here at SGDQ 2017. All
All
right.
right, are we doing the dialogue beforehand?
Oh, yeah, we're doing the whole
okay.
thing.
All right.
Their money's worth.
Who does this girl think she is? That girl has tangled with the wrong man.
Yeah, darn right.
No one says no to Gaston. Dismiss. Rejected. Publicly humiliated. Why, it's more than I can bear.
More beer?
What's the use? Oh, sorry. There was a little pop.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
hold
Yeah,
on.
you're good.
What for? Nothing helps. I'm disgraced.
Who? You? Never. Gaston, you've got to pull yourself together. Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston, looking so down in the dumps. Oh, every guy here'd love to be you, Gaston, even when taking your lumps. There's no man in town as admired as you. You're everyone's favorite guy. Everyone's awed and inspired by you, and it's not very hard to see why. Yeah. No one's slick as Gaston, no one's quick as Gaston, no one's neck is incredibly thick as Gaston, for there's no man in town half as manly. I have to sing these parts too, I forgot. Perfect, a pure paragon. You can ask any Tom, Dick, or Stanley, and they'll tell you whose team they prefer to be on. No one's been like Gaston, a kingpin like Gaston. No one's got a swell cleft in his chin like Gaston.
As a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating.
My, what a guy. Gaston. Give 5 hurrahs, give 12 hip hips. Gaston is the best and the rest is all drips. That was where he hit him here in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
I gotcha.
reference.
Yeah.
All right. No one Gaston fights like Gaston, doused his lights like Gaston. In a wrestling match, nobody bites like Gaston. There's no one as burly and brawny.
As you see, I've got biceps to spare.
My God, not a bit of him scraggly or scrawny.
That's right, and every last inch of me's covered in hair.
Rip it open. All right, there it is. No one hits like Gaston, matches wits like Gaston. In a spitting match, nobody spits like Gaston.
I'm especially good at expectorating.
Yo, 10 points for Gaston. That was dope, dude. All right, sick.
Oh, when I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large. And now that I've grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm roughly the size of a bug.
Woo!
My, what a guy, Gaston. No one shoots like Gaston, makes those buttes like Gaston, then goes tromping around wearing boots like Gaston.
I use antlers in all of my decorating.
My, what a guy, Gaston.
Fantastic. So over here, we're playing a video game. So we'll get back to, I guess, how the pirates work later. But right now, this is a very cool fight in the town. Chicken Little, again, being used to no end. Now, one of the things we talked about before with dry forms, Spike touched on, is that dry forms level up in different ways, and summons actually level up as well, which increases the amount of time that they come out. The way that summons level up is basically by using summons, by having the bar tick down a point every time you use a summon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
if you use an entire limit, then that's like 3 experience for the summon.
Exactly, and we do want that summon to hit a couple of higher levels, so. Now, we're going to be fighting this ambush here. You can actually run away from this fight, but it turns out we want the experience, and it's very quick to fight. As you can see, already over.
Yeah. There's another more specifics there with utilizing Chicken Little, moving back into that corner, locking onto the pirate, just because that's going to be the most central place when you shoot those blizzards to hit all of the enemies.
We're walking up to a on Isla de Muerta.
Isla de Muerta.
I can't, yeah.
Muerta.
Oh yeah, I was like, why does that sound wrong to me?
We shouldn't try this. Anyway, so here. We want to survive this fight for a minute, but we also want to get pirates just give a ton of experience, good money. They drop MP bubbles so we can refill our magic. He wants to stay at this specific distance because you see there's 2 different types of pirates in this fight. There are the regular, kind of the stronger enemies. There's also the snipers. And if you're too far away, you can use these reaction commands to sort of guard their shots. But if you're too far away, you actually can't use the reaction command, but they can still hit you.
Yeah, and we didn't get to talk about it before, but the way that these pirates work is that they're actually invulnerable when they're in shadows, but when they're in moonlight, they're completely vulnerable, and they're very susceptible to magic.
So the combos he's using here, because magic is so effective on them, he's going to be using Blizzard, Blizzard, and then go into physical attacks after that, because those will be finishers, and they'll deal basically as much damage as it would have been had it been like a Blizzard finisher.
Yeah,
so we're just kind of maximizing our damage.
It's going pretty well so far, so should be able to take out an entire another wave here. And again, we just want more money and more experience, and we have to burn the timer anyways.
Yeah, that was actually really good grinding there. I felt like that was a lot of pirates.
Yeah.
So.
That's also can be a real terrifying fight, just getting 2-shot there. So
we have another ambush fight here that's actually going to link directly into kind of the biggest fight of this world, the boat fight. He moves all the way to the left side there once again to line up this Chicken Little whistle right here. There's 3 pirates right here, and then 1 more bomb pirate will spawn.
Baseball, thank you.
Baseball, thank you.
Picked up a potion there. Would have liked it to have been an ether, but a potion works as well.
Yeah.
Now, fighting out that ambush is a bit slower, but we need the experience, and there's the potential for ether drops. And now Chicken Little remains out as we move into this actual fight that you have to fight. You can't run away from. We'll be fighting out most of it in the bottom portion of this boat, but we'll later move on.
Yeah, we've got 3 waves of pirates right here. We got these first, like mostly just kind of the bigger, stronger enemies that we're gonna have to take out. Because of how they get whistled, you actually don't want to use a full 4-hit combo. You just want to use 3 because the 4th will pretty much always whiff. After he clears out all these enemies down here, it looks like he got some potentially early spawns. This fight can get really trashy very easily. So he's got one more here. He's going to actually try to get them over here on these stairs and have Chicken Little suck them in with his whistle.
You can tell he's being very cautious, too, about making sure that Chicken Little pulls them in before he starts attacking them. It's incredibly easy to die in this fight. It's a common place to take the first death of the run. So we really want to avoid that if at all possible.
Yeah, get Chicken Little up there.
Chicken Little also has a health bar, even though you can't see it, and it kind of shares with the summon gauge. So if he gets hit, then the summon gauge will shrink down real fast.
But you can see you can also potentially get it back from certain attacks and certain magic. We should be able to save it right here.
There we go.
Very nice, yeah.
Really want to end that fight with Chicken Little still out because of that drive recovery mechanic we were talking about earlier. Because it changes your party, we get all that drive back, and we're going to be using it pretty shortly.
Time for the worst fight in the run.
So it's very random how these Heartless are going to react to. If any of these 5 barrels explode, then you die. So you want to make sure you're dodging them while you're doing these very slow animations, getting in place to knock them off.
Yeah.
So he's having to use up Valor early and try to dodge around.
Okay. Come on.
No, you just saved Biz $10. Nice. There you go. That is actually it might seem the most little mundane mini game. It's actually a pretty decent place where you could die.
Right.
You either kill all of the enemies and hit them all for free, or you just kind of hope they don't hit you and just go for it.
We're running up to the boss fight of this world, Barbosa, and while we are, I just want to mention we hit $850,000, so that's about 25K raised during this run so far. Let's get up to 900 people. We can make it happen.
I want to see 1 million by the end of Mario. So 900 by the end of this, 1 million by the end of the Mario Relay. This is a hype night, guys. Let's make it happen. Now we got this Heartless up here. We actually need to kill it before Barbosa will spawn. There's a handful of different places that this Heartless can spawn, and that will actually dictate where Barbosa is.
Barbosa is the same moonlight and shadow mechanic that all of the pirates do on this world, so we need to make sure that we attack him very quickly and freeze him and instantly get into another combo where we do it again and repeat this process over and over in the fight, because otherwise he's actually pretty dangerous.
Yeah, he can kill you very quickly, and you can also die from him killing Jack as well, so you can't even just play it safe. Bloody is also being careful about keeping him away from the shadows the whole time, so he likes to keep him in that corner,
Good fight.
Moving into that loading zone. Good stuff, dude.
All right, that means we're going to be going up to another gummy mission here. So
here's our last one.
What
do we got?
What's it going to be? And let's make sure we close that off.
It's going to be part of your world.
All right.
Little Mermaid.
Are you doing part of that?
No, that's just Ariel. You doing okay back there?
Never mind. No. She. Never mind. Never mind. You'll see.
Okay.
Let's go, Kung Fu.
Hello.
Hey.
All right, guess we'll get going. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you'd think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those. Wait, what do you call them?
Feet.
Thank you, Spike. All right. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down the. Wait, what's that word again? I got it. Yeah. Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I say to spend a day warm on the sand? Bet you on land they'd understand. Bet they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand and ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What is a fire and why does it, what's the word, burn? When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore a world above, out of the sea. Wish I could be part of that world.
As I know, I hope.
Thank you again for all your donations, folks.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Kung Fu Fruit Cup and Zim and Spike, just everybody volunteering to sing. It was.
Dude, and you as well.
Thank you, man.
Dex and I said be a man.
Pretty good job.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the biggest menu in the game.
There we go.
Nice.
Very nice. We don't even need to explain it.
Yeah, right. So here's Wisdom form. We just got this form. It's the next one in addition to Valor. Actually, we got it a few worlds ago, but we're just now using it. And actually, what he was doing there is he's not getting necessarily experience for himself, although you get it as well. He was killing those Heartless because Wisdom form actually levels up by killing Heartless. Like each individual Heartless is 1 experience point. So right now he's spawning more enemies and then using the Silver Rocks reaction command called Shift Shot or whatever it is, getting him 7 total kills between those 2 rooms.
And for a long time, Wisdom Form wasn't really used. Wisdom Form grinding wasn't used in the run because just thought, where are we going to kill this many Heartless? Like, where are we going to be able to level this up? But it's actually, turns out that in Agrabah, we can level up all the way to level 3 by the end of it, which is all we need. And that's just so that we can get this quick run movement ability that you're seeing unlocked on Sora by default instead of just on Wisdom Form.
It's better than just jogging around and using a lot of drives as well. Using a lot of drives would eventually lead us to getting into anti-form, or it would make routing hard, so much more convenient and fast doing it this way.
Yeah, have we explained anti-form yet?
No, I think probably
we could probably hold off on that.
Later, but
so leveling up each of the drive forms. Once you get each of them to level 3, we'll give you a specific growth, which is a movement ability. So getting Valor to level 3 a couple worlds ago actually netted us high jump, which he equipped earlier.
We also got a new magic recently called Reflect, and we're going to be using that a lot throughout the
Best
rest of the run.
magic
Reflect is the best magic in the game.
Yeah,
one of the most broken things in this game.
Already saw it once with the Silver Rocks, but we'll be using it again pretty quickly here. He's going to bait out an attack from this enemy, use Reflect, and as soon as the enemy attacks that barrier, it'll reflect a lot of damage. And it's not based on the damage that the enemy did to you. It's actually based on your magic power, which makes it incredibly strong. It was actually buffed in the final mix version because it wasn't as
it's like each version of this game, they've gradually buffed it more and more, going from the original Japanese version where it did chip damage to now where it's like your main tool.
Yeah. This enemy you have to hit from the back, so that's all he's really doing there. And now
we're going to get a little bit more intermediate course to using Reflect here. Stunning this guy to...
Bait it out.
Yep. and then that hits everything in the area, doing lots and lots of damage.
Luckily, it just so happens that the little mini Fire Lord things, the Fire Dudes, is that
Fire
what we,
dudes.
we
I like
decided
fire
we're gonna
dudes.
call
Nice
them?
cubies.
Yeah.
Now, the advanced course to using Reflect, we're actually going to carry it over with us
Yes.
if we do this correctly.
He's going to time this correctly to push this enemy into the center of the arena, lock onto this guy, reflect, and
There we
then
go.
pull that reflect up to him.
with the Trinity, which
Yes.
will always move you to the enemy.
Because the reflect's going to stay on top of Sora, so by using Trinity, which will snap you up to him, the reflect actually goes off from that attack hitting it.
And it's also because Trinity behaves differently when you have Donald and Goofy with you, as opposed to if you only have one or none of them.
Yeah, it gives you like a solo Trinity ability. You'll still be able to do something.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be getting to level 3 while killing these enemies off. He's going to be baiting out attacks. The ice cubes, when they land on the ground, you can tell that's when they're about to attack you. So he throws out the reflect. So this might look simple. You can't just spam out reflect and get reflect damage.
There's the level 3, which, as you can see, also gave quick run level 1 to Sora. That's exactly what we need. We're going to finish off the last bit of these Fire Dudes here.
Which will
and
get us down
then
to 3 heartless.
switch from...
Oh.
oh, no.
How
okay.
in the...
Wow. So
What?
he needed to switch Aladdin to Goofy. He accidentally switched Donald to Goofy the first time, then had to fix it.
We'll
and
see how well this goes.
in
Might
order
a
to be
little
able to
rough.
use this Trinity. And now hopefully it'll kill everything, because if not, this is going to go pretty
There we
scary.
Oh, my
Wow.
Lanta. What?
That is a menu mistake of one input. He simply just didn't go to Aladdin. He instead went to Donald. And recovery for that is absolutely insane, because you do not have a lot of time at the end of that fight.
All right, so we just gave Donald his first limit of the game, Comet, and we also gave ourselves Quick Run, which again we got from getting Wisdom to its level 3 form. So now that's going to be our main mode of movement throughout the rest of the game. So if nothing else, just something we can fall back on when we don't have better things to move with.
We're also
So now
gonna
we're going to
be
be
seeing
using
the-
Comet.
Yeah, we're going to see Comet's usefulness immediately. Again, you're invulnerable during the use of any limits, so he doesn't have to worry about landing on these fire patches on the ground. And on top of that, he can use Comet Rain, the ending of that limit, the finisher of it, in order to blow up a lot of the smaller enemies immediately.
And by using Valor Form right there, that explosion got rid of all the small fire and ice dudes.
That's okay. I would prefer him not to bounce around like that, but we can still make it work.
The Twin Lords are a very tricky fight because they aren't necessarily the hardest to, avoid dying in or anything like that.
Wow.
But you can lose a lot of time very quickly if you don't know how to manage taking out the smaller guys with the bigger
Yo,
guys.
I like the fire swag at the end for the kill. So
right.
yeah, that was cool.
Now we've got one final gummy mission. We're not singing during this one.
Yeah, there actually will be one
Well,
more.
there
final,
will, but
a
there
final,
are-
final
there are a
gummy
couple
mission.
more.
Yeah, this is kind of where the
there's a
run
few.
really picks up. After he goes through this gummy mission, he doesn't have another one breaking it up. And because they hit this, when this game got ported to PS4, the load times are gut tier. So just the pace of it is crazy from here. But yeah, during these, Edo, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing, well, I mean, just kind of get some sour please in chat, because this music, I don't know what they decided to do with this gummy music, but they're just like, guitar dude, you just want to
I
rock
like
out?
it.
And they were just like, okay, and they just decided to let him go for
I
it.
love
so.
it, man. This is
no,
like-
it's some good music. Now, Edo, if you could
Headbang
please read some
gummy
donations
music.
for
No
us.
problem. I have a $100 donation from Bongo102 that says an extra $50 if Spike will do his best Gaston flex pose.
I've got about 12 hairs in there, you can see.
I don't think you know what the definition of flex is.
No, dude, that's what he does in the movie, dude.
We actually have a $2,500 donation.
Wow.
From the Dope Fish that says, I've been watching GDQs for 7 years now, and it's always a great time. Really looking forward to the Mario Relay Race. And sorry, animals, gotta go fast. $5 from Ike Crispy King that says, I don't have much to donate, but if everyone donates a little bit, we can hit that 900K before Kingdom Hearts is over.
852 right now. Let's make it, guys.
All right, we're starting to get there. We have a $20 donation from Arc Razor that says, show those animals a whole new world by saving them from hellfire.
References.
That was pretty good.
We have a $150 donation from Dehem that says, for Edo Bean and her super cute voice, Thank you. Keep the boys on the couch in line if you can. I don't know if I can. Announce your choice of how to spend this. We also have a $15 donation from RPD234 that says, more speedruns should be musicals. Remember, you can buy your soundtrack later today.
Super Metroid the musical.
Hey, Zost, would you please sing during Fantoon, A Whole New World? You know, he was singing the other night. He was pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. I'm an idiot, just keeps reading donations.
You're fine. You have a $25 donation from Emil. It says, I'll Make a Man of You was amazing. Good luck on the rest of the run. Oh, Ed O'Bean is the best announcer. Also, greetings from Finland. Thank you. Appreciate it. We have a $10 donation from Anonymous that says, for the 900K hype, we can do it before the run ends. Wanna Beast donates $50 that says, that stellar performance of Gaston was the best birthday gift anyone could ever want.
Hey, happy birthday.
Feels birthday, man.
We have a $50 donation from Ryan Hill that says, love Game Them Crick. First time donating. Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and the live singing makes it even better. I see SGDQ only getting bigger and better from here. Don't forget to donate for the blindfolded run, and let's receive those bits.
Oh, yeah. Y'all should also, in addition to dollars, throw down some bits. If you want to cheer a little bit, because we'd like to get to 5 million bits to get that blindfolded Majora's Mask by Trev. Trev, one of the best Majora's Mask players in the world, make that happen, please.
Probably get one more fast one.
Yeah.
No problem. We have a $150 donation from Mining for Fish that says, if the entire chat donates $5, we can make it way past 900K easy. So let's do our part and shatter those borders.
Awesome. So now we took the items from Jack again, and then we put on an ability called Finishing Leap, which we'll see in just a moment. But before that, we've got a new summon, Genie, that we got from Agrabah. And the really great property Genie is that he's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Thanks, Genie.
That fight is obnoxiously long. There's so many waves. They spawn all over the place, much faster. Even on beginner, where they're taking chip damage, they'll take a death abuse through that fight.
Yeah, and the main reason we summon Genie there, he doesn't do anything, and Donald would heal you. And on top of that, Genie, like actually all of your summons will heal you if you get low enough, but you take the damage so quickly that with Genie, you don't have to worry about it.
Now this fight's going to get a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And take some damage on purpose.
Experience boost here. He's going to wait a split second to manipulate the position, move in, reflect the first few attacks, killing off the mole enemies, then take damage. As you can see, he's well below half health, putting him into experience boost territory. When you're below half health and you kill anything while experience boost is on, you will get double the experience. So by setting that up very specifically, then spawning into Dance Call, the spawns of the enemies came in and got caught by it.
Giving him an extra 218 experience, absolutely crazy.
I think we're actually a little bit over leveled. I got level 18 off of the first guy, not even the second.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's a lot. There's a lot of variance with just how many enemies you kill in all the different, just kind of waiting a minute fights.
It's almost impossible to be over leveled in this category, so that's good news, honestly.
Yeah, and level 18 there is very specific because it gives us a strength increase, cutting out a lot of the extra combos we have to do on this next fight in particular, the Prison Keeper. There's a little bit of RNG right here at the beginning of Prison Keeper. There's one of three kids he can eat. He's going to eat them all in some order, but it's going to be lock, shock, and barrel. So depending on which one he eats, Bloody's going to have to react accordingly with a different technique.
Yeah, ideally he would like to be able to reflect into a Trinity, I believe. Not quite able to do it here.
And we're going to be doing combos here to get to this HP gate right around here. Okay, that's what I want. Want him to do that.
Dance Call is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, once again, it's Jack's limit, and it sucks enemies in as well as deals a lot of damage. Even when you're not using downbeat or synchronization, it still deals quite a bit of damage just while he's spinning there.
There is a finisher to it, but it does take quite a bit of time, and the DPS isn't great, so Bloody elects to just drop out of it right there.
So because he waited for the specific HP barriers, he was able to skip one of the kids being eaten, I believe. Or skip a small little invulnerability phase.
There we go.
Bloody could tell, just kind of, he hit the HP gate at an unfortunate time, but he's got enough time there to drop down and get off the potion. And you can see this like really wild looking attack, the aerial finish. It has a lot of stun properties to it. So he wants to kind of time his attack during the invulnerable phase to get that aerial finish. Now Dance Call should be able to kill right here.
Yeah, it's about like a bar and a half of damage, so it's quite good.
Yo, we got to see the finisher.
There we go.
Very easy to die. I mean, we're going to keep saying it, but very easy to die in any fight. That one especially, if you aren't really, confident, if you aren't doing everything properly, you'll die in 1 or 2 hits pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was a little scared there towards the end because he was pretty high, and when he starts biting, that's a 2-shot, and if you just get hit by a stray hit while you're in the air, it makes things a little bit scary, so.
Back left, baby.
Back left. Another save warp right here. This one will save about 3 seconds.
I always forget that one. So again, PS4 load times are crazy good.
Yeah, that's just across like one loading zone, and that still saves 3 seconds. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now we're into the main boss fight of the world, Oogie Boogie. This is actually, Oogie always, throughout the Kingdom Hearts games, has some kind of gimmick fight. This is that gimmick fight. He's up on this platform. We need to knock him down. The only way to do that is to use our golf swing to get a bunch of presents up there and overload the platform.
I have never heard it called a golf swing, but I mean, it's a golf swing.
It says 4.
Yeah.
I've never, do you think I read?
All right, anyways, he's going to keep golf swinging. And he's going to
delay it
That's
here.
not how you spell it.
He's going to delay because he
The
listens
punch.
for certain audio cues, and that punch is a 1-shot if it hits him.
Don't want him to punch Oogie all the way back into the spikes. That would make things pretty slow, so.
Yeah, because at the ends of these conveyor belts are indeed spikes that will deal a lot of damage. So the entire, point of this fight, or the entire time of this fight, he's going to be listening for audio cues that I'm going to keep talking over because
All right,
it'll
now
mess
this
him
is
up.
where things get a little scary.
Yeah,
Depends
each
on
of
what we
these
get
little
here.
bags will open up a Heartless, so that's why he's getting Chicken
That's
Little
good.
out.
That's good too. All right, I'm happy with that. Emerald Blues, the guys that cast wind.
Oh,
make
wait,
these very,
there's
very
one
scary.
more.
All right, now that's actually, that's an interesting case. Actually, it's a good thing because it's
Yeah.
going to prevent him from summoning more bags as long as he's alive. So, or it's going to keep him alive. He's just going to, hang out with Chicken Little. He needs a friend.
You got a friend in me. Okay, so yeah, you have to get 12 boxes up there each time to knock him down, but progressively, like the first time he'll just let you get all 12 in one phase, then it's going to be 8 and 4, and then he'll break it up 4, 4, 4.
He's
gonna
able to
have
do just
more movement.
basic combos there because because he was able to leave that enemy alive. Otherwise, some more enemies would be spawned, and you might have to use Dance Call.
That is an actually frame-perfect trick to catch that right there and be able to move over instantly.
isn't-
It just wastes a few seconds.
I haven't set up like a timing for that, so like just instead of mashing, so I just kind of mash for it and hope I get it. No big deal if I don't.
Again, put on that slight delay because he could hear that the dice was going to fall down, so we waited until he had the iframes from the golf swing. Now,
Alright.
Bloody also has to react to which side Oogie's going to move to, and then which side, the blue windows are going to be able to spit you out in. Also, never get caught by one of those lightning attacks, because they like to basically just combo you all the way to the back, hit the spikes, and kill you.
All right,
Now
what are we gonna get
Oogie's going
here?
to move either once or twice here. We want him to move just once.
Nice.
And that's what he did.
Again, all working off of audio cues here.
And counting the number of boxes that he's
I'm going to be
hitting
very
up
careful
on the
about this
platform.
lightning. I get iframes for using the RC, so I just get to stand in the lightning and do that.
And again, RC standing for reaction command. All these times he's pressing triangle on these boxes.
Yeah. Now we're pretty much home free here.
All right, good fight.
There we go.
Good fight.
That is one of the worst fights to die in the entire game.
It's
because
terrifying, and
it's
there's really
so
not much
long.
interactivity to it, so it's one of the worst fights in the run, for
It's
sure.
very easy to kind of, start muscle memory, muscle
Right.
memorying your way through it and just not really paying
Now,
attention.
this is
There
a
you go.
tougher world warp, so we'll just see
All
what
right.
I can do here.
Good luck.
Ah,
Hey,
Atlantica.
Atlantica, what's up?
We're not going there.
If someone donates $1 million,
Yeah, can I get $1 million,
right
please?
now?
I'll go
I
to
want
Atlantica.
not $1 million total. I want $1 million additional right now, and we'll go to Atlantica.
All right, so we get Magnet now. That's also one of the best spells in the game. It has a lot of utility. You're going to see it here.
We were talking about finishing leap earlier. It's one of our best finisher modifiers we're going to have throughout the entire game. So we're going to be going into a magnet and then comboing that into the finishing leap, that ground slam that you're seeing right there. Now he's going to reflect this, going directly into a magnet and then into Valor form. Grabbing this Claymore with this RC, getting all of the enemies stuck.
I don't think the Berserker's going to die. We're going to see what happens. Oh, he did. Okay, that's really good.
Now, the Claymore remains on the ground for just a little bit, so he picked it up again. And luckily, the other guy jumped to him, so he's able to catch all 3 of these in the RC. Should be able to use one more.
I'm going to catch this guy, and then I'm going to get right in the middle. These guys are going to Berserk, but they're still going to get hit by this RC. Probably. There we go.
Very nice. That was played so well. Because it was unfortunate, like it's pretty much only going to do half damage each time that they spread out to all the corners. A lot of people would have probably, probably would have run around trying to catch all of them. Bloody just got in a position where he knew they were going to come in. Because they're still going to take damage. They have that super armor, or that brick wall as you call it. So just having that correct positioning. Those slam attacks that they do once they get into their desperation moves, is extremely powerful and very easily can kill you, so you don't want to drop that.
We also just got a new drive form on top of Valor and
Limit form.
Wisdom form called Limit form. Limit form is insanely useful, but we'll probably explain it a bit more once we first see its use.
Yeah, it's a new addition to Final Mix. There's some added content, and that's a new drive form. It's pretty much a callback to Kingdom Hearts 1 and its abilities, so you'll see that later on.
Before that, we got to go back to Hollow Bastion, where we're going to use Wisdom form for some faster movement, because we have to run quite a while for now.
You get some super swag movement with Wisdom form, because you can toggle your menu to use stuff like Fire and Reflect, you're going to see later on, to skip over stuff like Valor form jumps higher. Wisdom pretty much always would have to grab ledges, but now you're not going to have to see that because of using Fire to kind of extend your jump.
This setup here is a little bit difficult.
Get that Reflect.
Sucks.
Trying to skip that ledge grab, as Spike was saying.
It's pretty precise.
Using a Fire here, though.
It's okay.
I'm so sad.
I messed up. Oh my god.
But now we're heading our way to this computer so we can go over to Tron World. While we're going over there, there's just a little bit of a maze and stuff, but nothing really is going on. So I think we got some time for some donations, Zeto.
No problem. We have a $10 donation from Cat235 that says Gaston was on point. We also have a $20 donation from Flux Dog and Celeda that says, we're convinced. Now we're fans of Gaston. Donation goes to Spike Vegeta and his gossamer-like voice. Have fun. We have a $333.33 donation from Anonymous that just says, heart.
Thank
that
you.
Specific inflection.
Heart. We have a $100 donation from Anonymous that says, gotta love watching my favorite speedrunner run of my favorite games. Now praise your boy Yevon. And this goes to Naming Cloud after the man, the myth, the voice, Spike Vegeta.
All right, now we're in Tron World, or Space Paranoids.
That is my favorite minigame right there. That is my favorite minigame right there.
Yeah, just talking to the mic, dude.
I had it down, dude. I want a drink. It's water.
So, yeah, he had to do a very quick mini game there. Now a short menu, and he's going to move on to another mini game. It's weird. You kind of have to go into Space Paranoids and back out, like very quick 2 times. It's a little weird that they kind of did it that way.
We got to talk to Mickey.
Yeah, but instead we have to do this mini game first. Box is going to appear in a random location, and then you need to move near the box to get the thing to start spinning, and then it'll turn about 2.4 or so on PS4. And you just have to follow the box and use a drive explosion in order to
Great minigame so far. All right, but now we're going to be using Wisdom Form. To note, Wisdom Form, as you saw in Hollow Bastion there, a little bit faster than just doing the regular quick run that we have, but we don't want to overuse it. I think this is an okay time for us to actually talk about Anti-Form, because we're actually about to get another form right here, Master Form, which probably is the last form we'll be getting.
Yeah, so the way Anti-Form works is that the game the developers knew that drive forms were incredibly powerful, so they wanted to give you a punishment for just spamming drive forms everywhere. And that punishment is Anti-Form. That's a form where Sora, turns into this dark creature and kind of has all these weird abilities, things that we're not really in control of, and it's supposed to represent like the chaos of power or something like that. I don't know. And if every time you use a dry form, you add anti-points to this invisible counter. And if you add too many, then you have a chance of getting anti-form in a fight.
All right, so we took a hit there. We can't take any more hits for the rest of Light Cycle, otherwise we are for sure dead, but let's just see how well we can do.
I believe, dude. Yeah, as you can see, he got nicked once by one enemy, and that was 90% of his health. It can be easy to forget for players at a high level that there's a ton of damage that can be dealt in one hit.
He hasn't been hit a lot in this run, so it's kind of nice we at least get to see
what the critical health sounds
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
Okay, here we go. I'm trying to set up this little boost right here off of that guy right there.
Nice.
So cool.
You throw your Keyblade off of their shield, which will just boost you. Normally, it'll boost you into a wall, and he could have died right there. But he timed it right to where it just shot him down the corridor.
There is another one he's going to potentially be able to do later if
Right
if
here.
everything is all
So
well.
we're going to take care of this guy. He's going to come to me. And then that green guy's going to give me the shield, and we're good. All right. Now
nice.
this is the hard part. All right.
Bunch of enemies in this corridor that he's got to worry about. And the color of the enemy determines what abilities they have. The white enemies have the abilities of all three of the other colors. So they can use any of their attacks randomly, despite the fact that what types of enemies spawn where is actually completely set.
There we go.
All right, so now he should be pretty safe. We're getting to the end. Now there's 2 Devastators at the end here. Make sure you dodge them. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the one day that somehow one of those Devastators like
Hits you.
snipes someone.
Yeah. All right, so now we're
We
moving
got
up.
Stitch earlier, actually, and he's going to have his
Yes.
one use right here.
Yeah, this is the only time we're going to grab him. So this is, you kind of notice like little minor points of grinding. We kill an enemy here and there for different things. Right now we're actually going to get back into critical health, which very conveniently you do that aerial dive right there.
Thank
that
you.
puts you once again at like 10% health. Anything below 50% will activate experience boost, which again means every enemy you kill while you're under 50% will give you double the experience. So the reason why Stitch is good is because he occasionally can, and I'm not making this up, he occasionally can just lick you and give you your MP back. So hopefully he does that like the entire time.
Hey, there's one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
What they want you to do in this minigame is freeze each of these 3 computer screens by killing the enemies, and instead of them dropping HP orbs or anything, they drop these little orbs that just are
clusters,
used for the minigame.
There we go. Okay, not too slow.
Now that he's taken out 2 monitors, the enemies will combos. And again, that's because
There we
he has
go,
that
good.
finishing plus attack, that finishing plus ability, that allows him to use 2 finishers, and Magna counts as a finisher. So he'll do this over and over again as long as Stitch will keep licking him, which he's doing a bad job of right now.
We have 2 backup ethers, just in case Stitch isn't the nicest guy.
He's doing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to keep doing this until we hit about 20, or about
1,500 away
yeah.
from level 24. So
Yeah.
we're
All right, that's my
we've
last
used
backup
up
ether.
both ethers. We're getting
Typically, you're
close.
expected to use both of them, so now it's up to Stitch.
This is the one big grind session of the run, and
It's
everything
a
else from
minute.
here on out is pretty quick.
We're
So
almost
there's
there.
level 23. We have under 3,000 to go. One more should do it.
That's good.
There it is. Nice.
Excellent.
So ending with over 30 seconds left is pretty good there. So, yeah, just kind of just the perfect spot to get grinding in right
Yeah, that's
there.
about like 4.5 levels in the span of like a minute. It's pretty good,
And now if I'm
it's
not-
incredibly important.
If I'm not mistaken, we're completely done with Stitch.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So if you remember the run from AGDQ 2015 or any other kind of runs from around that time, you'll know that we used to use every single summon, and quite a few times we relied on Stitch. Completely
sucked.
eliminated from the run now, other than that one use.
All
A
right,
lot of improvements. have
All right,
been
this is one of
done over
my
the years.
personal favorite strats, actually, the hostile program.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So right there, he just picked up the Gaia belt. That's going to be for defense, but he's not going to equip it until later. It's not going to make a difference right now. So going into the fight, he's going to start off with quick running into the middle of the arena to close the gap, and then you go into Donald's Comet. He wants to use the finisher from Donald's Comet on hostile program, because he also has a bunch of HP gates that are determined by when you kind of break off pieces of him. So Sora's positioning is very specific to keep him in that. You can see a big chunk of him just fell off.
Similar to that previous minigame, this boss has clusters, and they're used to freeze him like that. Master Form is that new drive form that we got that uses both of your allies, and it does a lot of damage with these crazy combos.
Need to get to about 1.9 bars right here to hit that last game.
There it is. He just hit it. So
Got
now
all
he's
my
gonna-
orbs, and then we wait, and right as he comes straight over to me, we'll freeze him.
Comet again one more time, and this will just let him do a lot of damage while also doing combos. He's having to hit triangle while also doing these combos, so it's not as easy as it might look.
There you go.
There he goes.
You really, at this point in the game, you're seeing all these different techniques and tools that Bloody has as he's bringing them together to make for some incredibly sexy fights.
Yeah, this game is all about boss strats and beating waves of enemies. So just using the right tool for the right fight is all this game is about.
And you might think, you know, okay, well, once you get an upgraded version of a tool, you're just going to stick to that the whole time. There's a lot of strategies that involve
everything
a
is
wide
incredibly
variety of
useful.
tools.
Like even right here, you see there's one specific enemy there, the dancer. He wants to lock onto that
There we go.
dancer specifically in order to like just have it in the best position. And as you see, his drive form is filling up very quickly from using these magnets. Get Chicken Little out,
Reflect for extra damage.
getting kind of a double magnet effect here. That was really good.
Yeah, that was insane. And now he ended the fight with Chicken Little out. Our party members are going to be walking around here, so he's going to have his drive refunded.
Next fight, we got a bunch of dancers. Dancers are very scary. They're one of the first enemies in the game that can straight up one-shot you. You hit them like one time, and they grab you, they kill you. So he needs to get Chicken Little out and keep these guys just stunned the entire fight, ideally. Now, he's going to be walking around. These enemies are going to drop MP bubbles, and he wants to pick those up to extend, to be able to use one more usage of Magnet. Magnet uses up a lot of MP. That's going to get us into the final wave. Going to throw an ether, get this up, drop out Chicken Little, so he can now start building back up his drive gauge.
Watch that drive gauge.
Nice.
All the way up to 4 from 2 instantly. Good fight. And that is very crucial because he's going to be using Limit Form. Our first instance of Limit Form is going to be in this next boss fight.
Demix.
And you need 4 drive in order to use Limit
This is a pretty notable boss from a lot of people's childhood.
This guy sucks.
It's pretty interesting, the strats that we use to take care of this guy, especially the clones in it, for instance. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we got 50 water clones out. He needs to get them under between like 30 and 35. Now he's going to use a two-phase Trinity, stand right in the middle here. Once he gets them under 5 forms, he can now go into the finisher and watch that health bar.
Yeah. Trinity has a really crazy use here.
Does an unbelievable amount of damage. Now he's going to be going into Limit Form after popping him into the air. He's going to use the Zantetsuken, which is just the main finisher, into an Ars Arcanum combo. You might be familiar with this attack
Stunlock
from
him straight back to
KH1.
this.
Now he's going to reflect immediately after reverting from Limit Form, going to Comet for a lot of invulnerability and extra damage. And now he's going to wait for a retaliation and go into Comet Rain for some extra damage.
That was beautiful. A little subtle thing right there is Bloody tried to make sure he pushed Demix into his revenge value to where he was doing that attack to where Donald's Comet wouldn't knock him up in the air or anything. He had that brick wall effect essentially, so that he wasn't moving around and still getting all that damage in. Now we're throwing on that Gaia Belt we just picked up in addition to setting up some more potions and ethers. Now we've got probably just the scariest chunk of the game, these 4 Final Fantasy fights. We call them the Final Fantasy fights because a different Final Fantasy character joins us for each of them. In this case, Yuffie.
Yeah, and the worst part about the Final Fantasy fights is not only are they difficult and have a lot of enemies that are very hard to control, but on top of it, if you die at any point in the Final Fantasy fights, you get sent back to before Demix. So you have to do that fight again. This is one of the, like Ogi, one of the bigger chunks of potential time loss in the run. Yuffie's platform isn't too bad, but we use Limit Form again on top of it. Now, so we're going to try to use Limit Form by the end of the Final Fantasy fights, so we're also going to be watching our drive gauge, building that back up over these platforms. Nice magnet into Trinity usage here because every time an enemy moves in and out of a magnet, they take extra damage. So whenever you use a Trinity and a magnet together, you're getting a lot of extra damage.
That large enemy you saw right there, the big blue one, the Morningstar, they're some of the scariest, they are the scariest enemies in these fights right now. He's going to have a ton of them right here in this Tifa fight. So he's going to be using a setup by using a magnet finishing leap, which the magnet is still on screen, having these soldier enemies spawn into it, and you can use their rising sun commands. Now he's going to be using a lot of magnet to try to keep these morning stars incapacitated as long as possible. Tifa's actually doing a lot also, by the way. The Final Fantasy characters are generally very useful.
Come on, there we go.
Yeah, okay. You needed Tifa to stun that guy because he
Oh, wow. She went after the shadows.
That's
of
a
course.
one-shot.
All right. There we go.
All right.
Yo, she got that shadow,
That was
though.
scary. All right, so now we're going into the last platform, which is Cloud's platform. And we used to kind of just let Cloud do most of the work here, but we do want to level up Limit Form throughout this run. And the way Limit Form levels up is by using these limits, like the Sonic Rave that he's using here. And
Hit
so
me.
he's going
Thank
to
you.
get hit intentionally in order to have MP Rage fill up his MP bar again. He's going to do it
Thank
again.
you.
And luckily, every time that you use one, triangle press of a limit in limit form, you get healed. So it works out really well so that he can hit level 3 through right in this fight. Or sorry, level 2 in this fight.
Yo, Cloud, Omni Slash me, baby.
Thanks,
there
bud.
we go.
Donate for Omni Slash.
Yeah,
by the way.
do that. All right, so we got through. That was great, by the way. Yes.
All right, now Dax, this fight coming up.
Sucks.
Does?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
There's about 1,000 Heartless on the screen.
Okay, what do they call the fight?
1,000 Heartless fight.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do that.
Keep going.
Go.
What else with the fight?
There are these, what do you even call them, actually?
Sentry dudes.
Yeah, sentry dudes. The idea is that we're going to try to grab a bunch of these and use this laser
Okay,
attack that's
there we
gonna
go.
wipe out a lot of the enemies around, like you're seeing right here. The other guys give you Rising Sun, and it's not very strong. It does a decent amount of damage, but you're not really clearing a lot of enemies at the time, so this is much more ideal. And Bloody's going to be trying to throw this particular one in a certain direction to...
He's off to the side.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with him. I'm loyal. Here we go.
You might be looking around and seeing like all these other the robot enemies and thinking like, oh, why doesn't he just go grab one of them? A lot of those are not real.
Okay. Thank you.
Right,
Got
this
hit
is
in the
based
back.
on the PS2, so a lot of those background enemies aren't actually really there. There's only a certain area that they're actually going to spawn into, so those are leftover graphical assets because PS2 can render 1,000 Heartless at once.
Yeah, you see him use Thunder occasionally. That's because the surveillance robots can use one of 2 attacks. And if they use a longer attack, you can't snag them right away. So you use Thunder to immediately push them into the better attack for us. Now this fight's not going too bad so far. It's really awful because of how random it is. And
Started off very rocky.
yeah, and it's still very
This is a
easy to
great
die.
recovery, though.
You abandoned your dude. Switch to a different one. All right, there are a lot of
gotta go
surveillance
fast,
robots
dude.
right now, which is good but also scary
Oh,
because
man,
they
it's
can,
scary.
Yeah,
they can
you want to
kill
have
you.
those iframes through those.
Yeah, luckily we have an ability now called Once More, which means that if he gets comboed by an enemy, he won't get killed. It will only take him to 1 health maximum, or minimum rather. He can, however, die from a one-shot still. Like if
Yes.
something does enough damage to completely take away his health bar, he can do that.
That is probably the last surveillance robot we got. We only need 1 more usage of it, likely.
Thanks.
All right.
There we go. Finish off the
Take out
last
the
guy, and there it is.
That is definitely a very scary stretch of the run. Lots of randomness to it. Deaths are very punishing, especially if you die somewhere in the Final Fantasy fight, sending you back before Demix. So
Yeah, and with that, we're about 2/3 of the way through the run. Remember, folks, let's hit 900,000 as soon as we possibly can.
Yep.
For that donation total, so get them in.
yeah, so now what the game wants us to do, you can probably view it as a little bit of filler, but it wants you to unlock the path, the ability to go to any of the Disney worlds in the game. So on the right side of worlds, we have to defeat Land
why
of Dragons and Beast Castle, and on the left side, we have to beat Port Royal, Agrabah, and Halloween Town. So we have to do 5 worlds of cleanup right now.
We're taking a quick pit stop over here. We're not actually going to defeat Zaldin right now. We're just here for the Keyblade, but we'll be back later.
And the reason why he dipped into the parlor there was so he could save warp back into there later on.
Cool little fight here. This is actually one that Bloody started on back in HDQ 2015. He started his leg of the journey on and had to recover in the middle of it. Nice, faster way of doing it this time. We get a magnet into Trinity. And again, every time enemies move in and out of that magnet, they take damage.
That was
so
much
Right.
better.
So it's not actually that overdrive phase of Trinity that's dealing the damage, it's like Hobbs saying, it just keeps bouncing them in and out of it over and over and over again.
Also, on top of that, adding to your hit counter
Yes.
for the
As
the
we
Trinity
found that
finisher.
out yesterday.
All right, now we're going to do a bit of manipulation here. So I'm going to go back and forth between these rooms, seemingly for no reason. But the reason we're doing it is because this is a bulky vendor spawn. If there are no bulky vendors here, then what you can do is you can go back and forth between that bulky vendor room. And in all the other worlds, there are also other bulky vendor spawns. They will then be triggered to activate, so I can get bulky vendors over there.
And what bulky
So-
vendors are these just little enemies that give you prizes, that give you synth items and a few other things.
It's for the experience.
But they mainly give you a lot of experience, and they are very easy. You don't have to kill them, you just use a reaction command on them.
Even though we're leaving, we're taking Beast out of the party just to set that up for when we come back. Because each world will kind of memorize that.
We're going to have to come back there. We could finish it now, but the main thing is that we just wanted the Rumbling Rose Keyblade from there, because as we mentioned at the beginning of this game, Bloody on critical mode starts with a finishing plus, which allows him to do 2 finishers. Rumbling Rose has an additional finishing plus on it. So now he can do 3 finishers on any enemy, and it provides a lot of cool strategies.
Yeah, this fight, obviously pretty straightforward, but you can kind of notice this is one combo. He used 3 big, strong blizzards there. So, and I don't even know if we mentioned that necessarily, but magic also can be comboed, it can be slipped into your combos along with your physical attacks. And if they're used at the end, then they are applied finisher damage as well. Right there, so every time that you want to move somewhere in Port Royal, you'll get ambushed by a fight. The first time we came to Port Royal, the first 2 times, we just went ahead and took the fights, killed them, got the experience fast enough. These 2 times here, we're just going to enter the boat, exit it, and then we can move again.
Yeah, but before that we have Grim Reaper. This is the heartless boss of this this world, and he behaves like the pirates, just like Barbossa did. So you can freeze him with Blizzard, and we know how his revenge value will, what his revenge value is at and how he'll react. So everything in this fight is, scripted out very strongly to be able to hopefully kill him with 1 usage of Master Form. Ideally without a teleport, but we'll take 1. And hopefully we can finish him off here. Look at how much damage Master Form
Master Form
does.
is just swag. So right now he's actually got the Hero's Crest, which again, remember, gave us that air combo boost. So that is why you're, in addition to getting all these big finishers, you're also getting an air combo boost, just making all
Okay,
these.
not too
not
bad.
quite.
It's okay. Honestly, the damage was pretty bad, and so me getting that much damage is already pretty good. All right.
You might have also noticed that he kind of reset the combo there with Master Form, and he was using a bunch of reflects. That was to kind of replace the weaker attacks of Master Form
Bye,
with just
Peter
those
Pan. I
quick
love you.
animations. Aw, Peter.
We used to grab Peter Pan. We used to use every summon in this run. Now we
Yeah.
don't.
Peter Pan is now not used nearly so much, and the reason for that is we're going to get the reason that we don't need it at the end of this world, a big reward known as a Duck Flare.
Yeah, we'll get more to that later. For now, we need to collect some medallions from these gamblers, and in order to do that, you got to kill them. So they are all usually timed, and some of them are actually harder to get than others. Some of them are pretty difficult to do quickly. But now that we deal, quite a bit of damage, and we have that third finisher on all of our attacks, we can use a lot of Magnet, Finishing Leap into full combos. As well as Magnet is just stronger in the PS4 version than some of the others.
There are actually multiples of these nobodies, these enemies that you can go around and find. You just have to kill any 4 of them. So by going to this island, we can find 3 quick runs.
That's the hardest one to get. You only have 10 seconds to do it, but not a problem for Bloody.
Yeah. So we have triple finisher here. So Magnet is counted as a finisher, and then from there we do Magnet, Guard Break, Finishing Leap. And then
when you
some
use
horizontal
finishing leap,
slashes. Yeah.
when you use finishing leap, you're automatically put in the air, and then you can go into your air combo. So it makes for these really long, extended combos you can do, where you do a bunch of stuff on the ground, use finishing leap to pop you up in the air, and then use a whole air combo, whatever you want to do.
And now
like
look
you're
at
seeing right here.
His MP is pretty low right now, and you actually don't get a refill before the next boss, so he throws an ether right before picking up that medallion.
All right, Grim Reaper 2. There is the gimmick of this fight is that there is a chest in the middle with the 882 medallions. We need to get all of those and put it back in, otherwise we can't actually damage this guy. He is, once again, just like the pirate said himself earlier, he is very weak to magic. So he starts off with using a Blizzard, knocking 30 coins out and just freezing him. Thunder is the best because it will get you 50 coins knocked out, but it will not stun him in any way.
It'll force him to retaliate, in fact, which is why you use the Reflect. Now we go into some more basic combos. And I guess still at Donald had to
Yeah, I
switch
forgot
into
about
Goofy.
that. It's okay.
Yeah, just because Donald, I mean, you guys know this from playing the game casually. Donald dies very quickly.
On top of that, if he's set to attack enemies, he uses magic, which could affect these strats for this boss.
So he's hit the first HP gate. Now we're going into the second phase. He's going to guard this initial attack and then go right into the reaction command. This is very specific. He's actually going to lock onto him after this reaction command, let Sora land on the ground, and then use 2 thunders, which hits him from all the way up in the air, and there's all our coins.
Yep,
So now we're
all
gonna
of
put
them
it all-
off the boss. We're going to have to freeze him again so we can put them all back in the chest. And we're going to do a lot of combos to push him back into his third phase and final phase. Again, Blizzard is freezing him and allowing him to really get a lot of this ground damage off.
I wanted a Reflect there.
He wants to make sure he didn't use all of his MP. Sorry, Bloody, go for it.
No. I just didn't want him to teleport. But just one little love tap, and we'll be good to go. Now we're going into the third phase. Most important, for sure.
He needs to keep his party members alive, so he's going to go into Trinity Limit right here.
Just using it right in front of that chest because of its invulnerability. Now he's going to use Master Form, and that explosion gives him some invulnerability.
Enjoy this.
Now we get to use a lot of Thunder. Look at how quickly those numbers are decreasing for that boss counter in the top right.
Triple Thunder, baby.
Everything's gone. We're going to run around, pick up all the medallions, and freeze them. Put them all into that chest.
Nice.
Now we get to finish them off with some good old combos.
Come here. There we go.
He waited for him to kind of get lower to the ground there. When he's near the chest, he can kind of raise up in the air, and it can just make it harder to hit those ground combos.
One more.
I have to wait for one more teleport. He's just a little mean today. There we go. One of the things we've noted in past runs, too, that we haven't really touched on yet here, is that in order to finish any boss, you need to use an attack that will count as a finishing attack, which a lot of times can just be the end of your combo, just a basic finisher, or it can be magic. Magic actually acts as a finisher for bosses as well. Or we can use certain attacks like horizontal slash, which is that move where he's moving back and forth side to side in the air. So that's why you'll see that a lot on a lot of the bosses from here on out.
And now we just got the best limit in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. There we go. That's what I want.
I was like, what is a huddle attack?
There we go.
Flare Force. We went ahead and took Comet out just so it doesn't clutter up our menu. We're done with it. Now we're going to be using Duck Flare for quite a few fights throughout the rest of the run.
Yeah, Duck Flare just got completely broken in the PS4 English version.
Yeah,
And
that is
so
actually the reason we didn't mention this earlier. I'm not sure if we did, but we're playing on the English version because Duck Flare is only as good as it is on the English version, and it's the fastest version because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be Japanese was just a few seconds
in
faster.
case.
There's not a ton of
Oh.
text in this game.
Hey, what's up? There we go.
Yeah, wants to make sure he knocks all 3 of these kids out so that they're not moving around.
Dude, nice
It's pretty
golf
hard to aim these. See, that one's called capture.
It is.
Gotcha.
Have you ever played golf? It looks exactly like that.
That's exactly
You hit a
Look
lot
at
of
it.
presents.
right. So moving on. So right here, we talked about the RNG manipulation we did earlier for the bulky vendors. So we should have 2 right here.
This is where things get a bit scary. What we're actually going to do is we're going to try and experience boost this other vendor over here. Okay, well, your boy Stitch is not going to let us do that. I think that actually might have been better that he actually saved me because I was in the wrong position there. But it's going to be okay. We did manipulate the other vendor in Agrabah, so we'll just be able to pick that one up instead. All right.
We finally get access to some skateboards here.
They throw them
quick
in a couple of the later worlds.
Still a lot faster than quick running.
All right, now this is a pretty scary fight as well.
Each of these 4 White Knights has a present. When you collect all 4 of them, you're done with the fight. But much stronger enemies will spawn in after 3 of these 4 die. So we have to make sure we kind of pull these guys over here to the loading zone and then start taking care of them.
And
There
if
we go.
you're Zetris or me, you crash there.
Yeah.
So good job on not crashing the game. They've actually patched this game a couple of times, so hopefully that one's gone.
Right. Yeah, this PS4 version used to have a lot of crashing issues, so their current patch, they fixed most things. There's a few...
There's one fight towards the very end that's going to be quite problematic because of a change that they made that quite broke the fight.
But before that, we got some presents to collect. This is completely random. We want big presents, not small presents. Edo, I think you know what randomness and auto-scrolly time things means.
No problem. Sarah Stardew donates $500, saying,
Oh, here we are.
saying, we're rooting for you, BB. Make us proud.
Yo, thank you. Sarah is probably one of my most well-known viewers of my streams, so thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Now we're hopping right from there into the final boss of this world.
This will be your introduction to Duck Flare, just how good it is.
Yeah, this is the experiment fight. We used to use Peter Pan on this fight, and because Duck Flare is so good, we don't have to anymore. Immediately you can use Duck Flare and just go right into the finisher pretty quickly because it does a lot of damage. It's going to push him past his first phase. It's going to be able to break him now with a full combo, just like that. It's going to guard an attack here and throw this piece into the other to try to reconnect them.
Nice.
Wasn't sure if that was going to work, so glad it did.
It had to go into a specific piece, and it's based on Sora's position which way you'll throw him. Donald was
How did Donald die? Oh my god. All right, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Donald must have died the second he came back.
$10, Biz.
All right, we'll give that another try.
Having the first death of the run at Experiment is not too uncommon.
2 hours and 16 minutes into the run, pretty good. Yep. An unfortunate requirement of limits is that the characters that they're based on need to be alive. So, and that's what makes it unfortunate that Donald has such good limits, because he obviously dies very easily.
So yeah,
he's
the
going
goal
to
here
die
is
that
to
time.
use the summon to make it so that when they come out of the summon, they will come back with some health.
Yeah, he doesn't actually really care about Chicken Little.
There we go.
There we go.
Back into Duck Flare. We're going to be seeing this for the rest of this fight.
There's also that top right corner. You see that limit gauge? He makes sure that he wants to use the finisher before that runs out. And he can kind of hold it in different positions.
He knows he's going to get a retaliation there, so he's already planning that reflect the entire time. He was able to throw an ether. Use more Duck Flare.
Smile for the camera.
All right, so we get Decisive Pumpkin as a result of that. That's probably the best Keyblade that we're going to get, and we're going to be using that for the rest of the run. That is the highest strength stat that we can get, and combo boost, enhancing our ground finishers. And we're going to be using a lot of those as we go along.
Yeah, so him swapping out those Keyblades there, putting the Rumbling Rose on, I believe it was Master Form, and putting Decisive Pumpkin on his...
Just to
on his
be
main
safe.
Yeah, here's the other bulky vendor he was talking about earlier. Just going to pick him up.
Chicken Little will take care of these guys trying to hit me. Actually, you know what? Here, come here. I'm not sure if I'm over-leveled or under-leveled in this situation, so I'm just going to kill these guys just for safety.
Yeah. The number he's trying to hit is by the end of all the Heartless he's about to go out and fight here in the desert, he wants to be level 30 because that has a strength increase, making it much, much safer and much easier to get a quick kill on Genie Jafar, the final boss of this world. Fighting on the carpet, you're without your other characters, Donald and Goofy, and Aladdin for that matter.
Ooh,
so you're without a lot of tools.
You also control the carpet with the right analog stick, which means even the most minor movements of the camera will affect where your carpet position is.
Had to use an extra ether there, just to kind of patch things up.
This fight's the worst. It's incredibly
Okay, so
obnoxious.
I think it was a good idea that I killed those extra guys.
Now we have to chase Jafar through this entire area, and he's going to stop at 3 different spots. And each spot, you just need to give him a little love tap, like that. And this is not, actually Jafar. It's some creation of
Clone of
Jafar's.
some sort, yeah.
And but at the last one, you need to make sure you use a finisher, which is why Bloody's made sure that he has MP left, because he's going to be using Thunder on it instead of attacking it, because you'd have to get all the way to the end of your combo.
There's also just a lot of nuance in moving this carpet without ever like stopping in place, making sure you always have that good movement to catch up to him each time. Now we have our next carpet fight. A few more waves. The basic idea of this, it sucks, but you want to move back to the wall to kind of hit that barrier so the enemy's wall gather with you, and then throw up your magnet. It'll go to whichever enemy Sora is targeted onto. So that's why you're seeing Bloody here. He has the preference to just go up to the top so that they're not constantly going up and down.
Yeah.
Now,
traps those
off
in
of
a,
this,
yeah, they traps those in a magnet in order to force this retaliation and move them down a little bit. Had thrown Ether while the next couple got picked up the magnet, finishing off the Crimson Jazz at the end of that fight.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of this beautiful combo where you are throwing up a magnet, catching the enemies that are spawning in, reflecting them, throwing up the magnet, which kills them, and then the next enemies that spawn in, they get caught in that last magnet. So you can kind of loop it together. It's one of those fights that can either be beautiful or it can suck. If it just things just go a little bit wrong, you get a little bit off. Now we've got these 3 locks we need to hit with all our 3 kind of basic magics: Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder.
Yeah.
So
The
we need
route
to line
a
this
couple
up.
years ago was to get the fire one first, but we're actually going to get it last. Just so happens that the routing is a bit better this time around.
On top of that, we used to despawn those enemies before the Thunder one, but turns out if you just move pretty quickly, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, but I'm going to despawn these guys or at least make it so that there are less enemies, just to get this fire switch.
little bit
Makes it
safer.
a little bit easier. And then all I have to do is get up here, and we're good to go.
Yo, nice, you made it. All right. So, for this last bit, it's kind of one more auto-scroller of sorts where we're going to be flying around on the carpet. And there's no way to speed this up. One thing that I find really quirky about it is that you actually can't use experience boost here, like getting below half health. It's just a property of this minigame or fight. So, again, what we're looking for here is level 30. Oh, you're fine. Yeah. Sora is always going to be, what you can know is Sora is always the last one to reach a level. The other characters will get there first. So we saw Goofy got level 30 there. Bloody should be able to get like 6,500 experience or so from all this.
Yeah, I didn't mention earlier, but level 30 is a strength increase. And in FM, when you get a stat increase, it increases by 2. And just by the way the game scales your damage, since we're so close to the battle level, any tiny level up, any small change in our stats is going to make a dramatic difference in our damage output. So level 30 is like a make or break. You have to get it right now. So.
But anyways, yeah, while he's finishing this up, Edo, if you want to read off a couple donations.
No problem. I have a $150 donation from Swerdna that says, always been a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. Kill the animals. We have a $50 donation from Paige A that says, had to donate during Kingdom Hearts as it's my favorite series. Great singing, everyone. Really excited for that data.org run. Good luck, Bloody.
Thank you.
Geeky Manatee donates $20 saying, been playing the Kingdom Hearts games since the first one was released. Easily one of my favorite game series of all time. Cheers to SGDQ, the staff, the runners, and the Disney songs. Also, double cheers to Bloody for making critical mode look effortless.
Thank you.
We have a $15 donation from Stan248 that says, songs, strats, Spike Vegeta, Sora, speed.
Arms.
Sounds so sweet.
Arms.
Sorry, I had to throw that one in there.
We have a $500 donation from Anonymous saying, I've never seen this game played before, and it looks like so much fun. But this
It
money,
really is.
but this money is for your amazing singing. If I donate to OmniSlash, will you sing along with One Winged Angel?
No guarantees.
That's some Latin. I'm
Probably
not sure
won't be,
I know.
So cool little save warp again, PS4 just makes those fast. Now he's going to be moving into this genie fight, which, as Bloody was saying, you really wanted that level up for. He's going to be looking to skip his desperation move, this big dark attack where he's invulnerable for a while and just wastes a ton of time. But he's got to start off first by hitting him in the abs. Don't know why, but
That's
yeah.
where you go.
Now, the weird kind of main property about this fight, the easiest way to try to get this DM skip, is that the carpet has this natural, sliding dash move, and it actually can hit enemies more than once. So you actually intentionally move partially away from Genie right here, and then let the slide and dash hit him multiple times before continuing on your combo. So you're not just mashing X again, you're actually putting on specific delays.
Bloody put up that reflect there to avoid a hold move that Gene Jafar would have used.
Yeah, the Thunder usage there passed an HP gate, so that way he could just get in the maximum amount of damage possible. Now, hopefully, yeah, he's got plenty of damage. After this roll-up, he should be able to finish him off in just a couple short combos.
There we go.
If he didn't skip the DM, he would have wasted like 30-something seconds.
And
or
it's
something.
it's quite
awful.
dangerous once you get out of the DM too.
Yeah.
So as I said, what the game is checking for at this point is that you will have access to all of the different worlds. So you can see now that opens up the path. You could go to Pride Lands after you did the Gummy mission right there. So the left side is completely covered. Now on the right side, we just have Land of Dragons to go do and finishing up Beast Castle. A lot of you might remember Beast Castle is where you fought Zaldin. Like you were here, Chip and Dale.
Yeah, it's the
I
entire
talked about
time.
that earlier.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's very
I'm not sure if it's the game or like audio bug, but either way, it's okay.
It doesn't matter. We hear them like 3 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we fight Zaldin, we do have these Dragoons. They'll telegraph their attack by that little shine right there. That means they're going to teleport. So you know you can put up a reflect, go right into Magnet, and do your thing.
Come here. All right.
We got these 2 Dusks right now, and then we're going to 3 more Dragoons. This ground attack they do right there will kill, so Bloody makes sure to stay away from it. We're going to go
Waiting for
into
the
our
teleport
reflect,
again.
into the Magnet, and Duck Flare.
Very
Nice.
quick end of the fight. Duck Flare, again, any time that you don't really have to worry about your MP or something, you'll probably use it to finish off fights. Now we're going into one of the cooler strats of the run. If you played this game casually, if you played it as a kid, you probably remember Zaldin. Not a fun guy to fight.
Yeah.
Master Form in critical mode, as well as some very precise routing, makes this really cool.
With being in Master Form and having those 2 Keyblades, with the 2 reaction boosts we have right now, we're doing a ton of damage on each of these jumps. You can stock up to 9 jumps each time.
And then he goes straight into Duck Flare again, completely buffed in this PS4 English version. And that's all it's going to be for the fight. Unbelievable. The speed at which Bloody has to mash, too, in order to get 9 jumps out of pressing that triangle button for the reaction command is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's a pretty tiny window to do it in. So with that, we just have Land of Dragons. That once we defeat that, that will open up the path to Endless Coliseum, and we'll be done. So going here, our first fight is with, spoiler alert, it's Riku. It's going to be a solo fight, Sora versus him. So we're going to be utilizing those solo strats, having stuff like Limit Form and Trinity Limit.
Mm-hmm. Those are pretty much your only tools that you have at your disposal, besides also magic and combos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the ways that they kind of vary up the gameplay instead of just always sticking to one thing is by taking away your party members at various points. And we see that a lot in the final world, too.
Again, using that technique where he baited out an attack from Riku, reflecting that and snapping back over to him with using Trinity, so that the reflect damage then goes off.
So now we'll try to get in a couple combos here, then immediately go into the limit form. Get a Zantetsuken here into a Sonic Rave. He uses Sonic Rave because, wow, that was actually really fast. He uses Sonic Rave because Riku kind of move around randomly and it'll easily catch up to him, as opposed to something like Ars
Wait.
Arcanum.
I always mess this up. It's okay. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Now, instead of save warping, we actually use Wisdom Form here. We can't really save warp because we haven't been over there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it resets it now that we're kind of in the second trip of worlds. As you can see, once again, utilizing fire there just to skip out that to skip out on that ledge grab right there. There is another bulky vendor here to note that we also manipulated, but we don't need them.
Yeah,
at
level
this point.
30 is like the last really important level in the run, so now that we've got it, we don't have to worry about experience.
Dismisses, or reverts rather, out of Wisdom Form there because I assume he's going to use a limit here.
Yeah, we used Magnet plus Major Drive, but we're going to use Ultima this time around, actually. It's a really, I don't know what it is. I think it has to do with the bolt towers and how big they are and how they just kind of collide together in the magnet, but does an insane amount of hits.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
283 hits from pressing one button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also because of that magnet being there.
All right, so now we're introduced to our next, each of the nobodies, this like different type of enemy we've been seeing in the second part of the game, they're based on a different data organization member, or a different organization member. These being the snipers based on Zigbar. They can be very dangerous as well. They have a lot of shots that can 1- and 2-shot you. So
Good.
we're gonna make sure we keep them all close again with these magnets. Again, Magnet and Reflect are just really good tools to handle that. They died so fast, my God. Magnet and Reflect being really good tools just for crowd control.
We're not done yet, though. The kind of theme of these revisits are very fast, very fast, very fast.
Yeah.
So we're going straight into the final boss of When Dragons here.
We're actually going to see some Genie summon use. We haven't really seen much of it, but now we're actually going to get to use them.
Genie actually has a different form based on each of your drive forms that you have. Right now he's in Master form and he doesn't want that. So while we're waiting in this cutscene, you can actually set him to Valor form. So as you can see, it allows you to have iframes and also just get in damage while you're kind of waiting for those lightning attacks to go down.
Good damage.
Now, normally Bloody could have grabbed back onto the horn and not get thrown off right there, but it's faster just to go ahead and over-damage him and just get in as much damage as you can.
Okay. It's a little bit low on damage, but Duck Flare is really good, so it's going to just take care of the slop.
Throw up a Reflect, because that actually works on this. As you can see, a huge chunk of health just shot off right there.
And now straight into Duck Flare, and he's going to be using Mega Duck Flare, the finisher of it, almost immediately. And there it is.
There you go.
As you can see, U.S. Duck Flare,
Yeah.
really, really strong.
Insanely strong. We're not even close to being done with it by any means.
And that does it for our revisits. We're actually going into our final gummy mission here. They randomly want you to go through one to get back to Twilight Town again, which will then send you there to the World That Never Was, the final dungeon.
Yeah.
So with that, this is one of our last really good spots to read donations. So Edo, you got like 3.5 minutes. Just go for it.
All right. We have a $100 donation from Pop Punk Game Time that says, "So glad I have the opportunity to donate to SGDQ this year. Even better that I can donate during my favorite game. Great job with the Kingdom Hearts 2 run so far." We have a $150 donation from Salamus39 saying, "I've been watching GDQs for 6 years now. I've always used to look forward to Spike's runs, but having him on the couch is almost as good. Love you all. Keep up the good work." We have a $20 donation from XLaws that says, "Good luck on the run, Bloody Biscuits. May the Goofy be with you."
Thank you.
We have a $50 donation from Andyman3 that says, "Hey SGDQ, Andyman here. I want to apologize for my bad English. It's my birthday today and my favorite game is running right now." And the voice, Spike Vegeta, giving the commentary? How could this day get better? Well, we are doing something for charity. Thank you very much for the event and the entertainment you give us. You guys rock. We have a $15 donation from Calculus that says, "I'm not heartless or anything, but kill the animals." The Rixer donates $10 saying, "Hey KH community, Ricky
Yo,
here.
What's up, Ricky?
Hope to see you all again next AGDQ. I for sure will be going to see you all there. This community is so supportive and hardworking when it comes to optimizing these games. Also loving the charisma on the couch. Keep it up, guys." We have a $10 donation from Ninten866 that says,
Hey.
"Yo, BB. I've been super hyped to watch this all week, and you guys are doing amazing so far. Good luck on the rest, and shout-outs to the KH community."
Yeah, Ninten is the current greatest of all time player of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
He is the GOAT.
One of the all-time elites
He
in
has,
Kingdom Hearts speedrunning.
yeah, in every single category of, every single like mainline category of KH2, he has world record. He's pretty incredible, dude.
That is insane.
Yeah, dude's good.
And we have a lot of categories, so yeah.
We have a $50 donation from Asa that says, "I remember leveling all the forms to max for an unnecessary amount of time in Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's definitely something to see Bloody Biscuits go through it without the grind. Thanks y'all for bringing the nostalgia and keep up the amazing run." Big Tasted donates $15 saying, "Gaston and Hellfire were incredible. Good luck on the rest of the run and let's Sora to 900K. Sorry, this run needed more puns.
Like someone just died in the back, or there's a zombie. That did it. That was the straw that broke the
That was
camel's
the one.
back.
That was the one. We had a $10 donation from Catherine54 that says, "Gaston and LeFaux were amazing. Many goes to Spike's choice." We have a $15 donation from Not Myself that says, "Had to donate again during one of my all-time favorite games to let the couch know that that was an amazing rendition of Hellfire. Although it doesn't hold a candle to the desolate tones of my favorite commentator, Spike Vegeta, send this to Spike's choice.
What is your choice, Spike?
Dude, I'm super vain. I'm naming Cloud me.
Which, let me check real quick. You are in the lead right now, so let's, if you guys want to keep
That was
Spike
already an
there.
option before she asked me what I want to be on. I was like, all right, put it there. Everybody else says, like, save, kill the animals. Get creative, people.
We have a $20 donation from Anonymous that says, DJ Kurai here with my first ever GDQ donation. Good luck to Bloody on the run.
Thank you.
Princely Crow donating $5 saying, doing my $5 part. Chat should do the same.
Yeah, they should. We're at 860. I know we can get to 900 before.
We've got this final dungeon, and then we have all the incentive bosses that we're going to be throwing out for you guys. Exactly 15 that we're going to be throwing out. So you got a little bit, which goes by faster than you think. They're each like a minute. So, like, get your donations in now.
Donate, donate, donate. All right.
And cheer us some bits. Just want that 5 million for Majora's Mask. Okay. So heading into our last time in Twilight Town. We got a couple of fights before we get out of here. Taking a little detour here because we see some skateboard action, helping us out with some movement. Moving up here, we're going to be using Master Genie. I don't know how this idiot works, so I'm going to let Bloody explain how he works.
Yeah. Well, first we have to get through what I like
The forest.
The Forest of Death. Every single shot here one-shots you, so I have to be pretty careful. Dodge that.
Shout-outs to Muffin Cutie.
Get behind that. Let that thing just pass straight through me.
There's no way you knew that one was coming.
No, I... Okay, so while you are summoning things, objects like that just phase through, just like the trees, so... Anyway, we actually get to the fight. Using Magnet combined with Master Genie's Infinity, or I think it's, let me see, the Arcana limit, it'll suck them in, and when these two are separated, they do like some pretty measly damage, but when they're together, they do a lot of hits,
He's also
which just racks up damage.
He's also specifically moving away from the enemies when using the magnet, except for the samurais here. Because for most of them, you want Genie to suck them into the magnet.
Yeah, it has to do with like weird invisible weight property that each of these enemies have.
Yeah, for some reason, the samurais, you just want to do it right on top of them. They're kind of spreading out a little bit, which isn't exactly what you want to see, but I think we should still be fine.
Yeah, your boy Mickey is a little not cool. We're good.
There we go.
There we go.
Not bad.
Yeah, Mickey. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good.
Genie damage with Magnet is just absolutely insane in the 60 FPS version of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoutouts to patch 1.04 because if we didn't have that come out a couple weeks ago, that whole thing would have not
yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
Every other patch that's been coming out has been kind of messing up things. Shouts to Square Enix not really knowing what they're doing, but
The call-outs.
We're close, though. We're almost there.
But Dax,
I got
they're
a few weeks.
trying. They're trying really hard.
I know.
You shouldn't be so mean to them.
I'm sorry.
All right, so you get to hear the opening of this music like 5 times.
That's the one thing I wish they would have just straight up changed from the previous versions now that they removed the load time.
String it together, man. Okay, so we've got this little pre-fight with just all these dusks. We're just going to be getting a lot of reflex into magnets to take care of them. And then Donald and Goofy are going to be taken out for Axel. And Axel can be a big issue because, again, we don't want, just like Mickey in that last fight where he kind of knocked them away, we want to keep all the enemies close so we can kill them as quickly as possible. So it's having to run around and catch them.
So for these nobody waves, he's going to do more or less the same thing he just did there. He's going to bait out an attack first, and then he's going to reflect Magnet into finishing leap and use some aerial attack there for chip damage as well.
Now we have assassins. If an assassin does a suicide, a blow-up
Yeah.
attack, it will kill you.
This is one-shot territory right now. So.
Pops into limit form there just to get his MP refilled.
Yeah, so he needs to reflect out of that because that actually will deflect an attack right out of it. Well,
all right, so Axel kind of messed with things, so he's going to have to improvise here.
There we
and
go.
There we go.
how did
Finish up well.
Okay.
Magnet into Trinity.
Yeah.
Again, every time an enemy gets hit out of the magnet and then pulled back in, it does more damage. So even though Magnet itself doesn't do a lot of damage, when you're doing it 900 times,
Right.
it does quite a bit.
Okay, we're coming up on the only changed part, you could say, like in terms of a fight for the Final Mix version. We're going to actually fight Roxas here. It's not just a cutscene. And
That sucks.
that's
It's
okay.
The cool movement tech, man. Just didn't like you today.
I will mostly just let this fight speak for itself. The way these combos work together, it's absolutely beautiful. A lot of what we're using here is abusing that revenge value, getting him to attack back at the right times.
Everything about this is centered around having him retaliate exactly when we're expecting it, so that we can reflect every time he retaliates. Just listen to music.
Okay, now the hard part. Okay, that's really good.
Don't worry, he knew that was going to happen. Using the limit form to get that deflection off him right there. Now he's going to be using Ars Arcanum. There is one more hit after that. He's not using it.
Awesome. And that strat has changed very slightly over the years. It's unbelievable using Ragnarok at the end of that too, on top of some of the changes he did to use one less Blizzard early on to save the MP.
Yeah, it was to cut out having to use Trinity Limit at one point just to kind of link together that damage to get him under 2 bars. You might notice that he's pretty much almost out of ethers, but he's going to do one more shopping trip here to
we have just enough ethers to make it past Roxas. And now, we mentioned Anti-Form this a little while ago. Here he is.
Yep, that Anti-Form is planned. We always know that we'll either get Anti-Form or Final Form there.
There's a very small percentage chance.
Either way, all of his anti-points are gone now, and so we can safely use our drive forms again in battle without having to worry about it.
We're getting our drive back right here, using that. And then we're doing that specifically to go into Anti-Form again, go into this room. This will give us a drive recovery because it's one of those special rooms, and that kind of takes care of things.
Here is the next absolutely beautiful fight. We have got Xigbar. It changed a lot with how much more damage Duck Flare has done. So getting the last of our ethers and getting our elixir.
Yeah, we get an elixir because of that item we picked up way back in Timeless River, that one synth item.
Swapping to Hero's Crest there that we got from Olympus Coliseum because Xigbar is going to be in the air pretty much the entire time, so we want to have air combo boost. Coming up right here, so he's going to be attacking and staggering him at very specific times. First of all, he needs to go ahead and use the reaction command. And then Xigbar is going to come down and use 3 sets of lasers. He wants to reflect the first one just to get a little bit of chip damage in to balance out this damage. Now he's going to let him go a 3rd time and then go into Duck Flare. Holding this, watch out for that limit gauge up there. It's going to just about run out, and then he's going to time it. The number he's looking for is to get him to just right under 3 bars of health. So he's going to get him one more combo here. Once he gets under 3, then he's going to actually be using Valor Form. We're getting nostalgic and bringing it back. So he's going to use that to iframe through one of these, giving him that health refill. Now he's going to go up. He's going to go into a double finisher, canceling out before the last one, going into an air combo, into fire, hyper-extending this combo to go into the Duck Flare and go for the kill right now. This should be able to get him. See you, nerd.
Oh, no! Yeah! Woo! When he teleports away like that, he could have just DM'd, but instead, that was good. Not only the just number of precise inputs, because I'll be the first to say that fight is impossible.
That is still one of the absolute hardest fights in the game.
Even on beginner mode, I tried to learn that fight, and it's just absolutely insane. And it's not only the preciseness with all of your inputs, but the variety in there. He had the point where he went into Valor Form, did 2 finishers, had to then revert from Valor Form to then use a fire, to then use a limit, to then keep using air combos all without touching the ground. So it's absolutely insane.
There we go.
He just re-equipped the Decisive Pumpkin there because, again, he's going back to now mostly ground combos, and he put the Oblivion Keyblade, which he just got, onto Valor Form. Forgot what it was for. Oh, yeah, I remember what it's for, but it's for something later on. Don't worry about it. All right, Luxord, this is Square. You're doing great. All the patches are great, man. Please fix this fight.
Yeah, we used to be able to loop this fight pretty well. Unfortunately, now that's impossible on patch 1.03 and above.
All right, so he was in that dice form. He just wanted to get through that dice form as quickly as possible.
If we see the minigame over and over, we're going to be super happy because there we actually have the ability to continue this loop a slap shot into a reflect into a finisher allows us to make this happen. He's going to keep using it for us right now, which is great.
We want to see this. There's one of 2 attacks he could use. All right, so here it is.
Okay, this is where we unfortunately can no
That
longer
sucks.
really...
I didn't want him to chase me, that one card, but he
Yeah.
did anyway.
We really can't have a reliably stable fight anymore after some of the changes they made
Yeah.
if he uses this card attack.
Not liking the fact that he's using these attacks. Okay, now, in this case, hopefully, that'll
Those
take care of
cards
the
can do a ton of
cards.
damage, so it's nice to get them caught in that reflect damage. So there's a specific health barrier that he's looking for. If you look at the top, the gimmick of this fight is that we're getting that time gauge down as opposed to just health. You can lose health as well and you'll die, but you need to lower his time gauge. You see the time gauge actual word at the top. You need to get it to where it's like just past that black bar that's kind of on the line with it. So he's very close. And then he should be able to link together a combo to make this work.
And Luxord has a very long desperation move at the end of it. We want to skip that. We're going to start that right now using the solo Trinity just for extra damage as well as keeping him stunned. We're then going to go straight into limit form, the explosion, knock him up in the air, go right into an Ars Arcanum. Again, we're not going to use the finishing move, the Ars Arcanum. We'll explain a little bit why. But he's going to then poke him a couple more times, get him down to the right health value.
Just has the perfect amount of stagger, and see ya.
Perfect.
Besides him breaking out that one time, that actually was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, he kept giving you the minigame, which is fantastic. It's exactly what we want to see. And as we mentioned a couple times, every time he's using Ars Arcanum, he's going all the way up until the last hit, but not using it. That's because of that revenge value mechanic. Ars Arcanum does a lot of damage, so it adds a lot of revenge value. It's like 9 or something that
So this
it
is
adds,
probably the most technical
but
fight
they coded on the end.
in the run. With the addition of Duck Flare, it's pretty crazy that the strat
Yeah,
is
you might
here.
remember this used to be a Peter Pan fight.
Yeah.
Now it's, much more complicated.
All right. One good thing is that Donald's dead. That makes things easier.
It ain't just a meme. He actually means it. Yeah, main idea is he wants to keep him up against the wall right here so that he isn't dashing all around the arena and more of these reflects actually hit.
Yeah, it's a triple reflect right there. It's three individual reflects hitting him. All right, good. Now,
Going into limit form here again, more of that Zantetsuken into Ars Arcanum.
If he drops any bit of this, he'll go into his Berserk phase.
Now right into Duck
Let
Flare.
him land. You want to let them land because if you don't, they'll just get popped up in the air and a lot of stuff will whiff.
Wow.
nice.
Duck Flare is just crazy, man.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of these Dark Flare strats are relatively new with the addition of the PS4. It was powered up on the PS3 version, but the load times were so bad for that. We saved literally like an hour and 40 minutes on load screens.
The other
in
crazy
PS4.
thing about that fight with how technically demanding it is he also went into limit form, so he used his drive gauge, but he built all the way back up to 3 drive because he wants to be able to use wisdom form right here for movement.
Yes.
So
Giving
be
him
able to
that
just
extra quick run.
barely get up to 3 drive while also having to keep track of everything else that's going on.
Edo, let's hear 2 donations while we're climbing this.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Asa that says, BB, good luck, my boy. You hope you have an awesome time. Wish I could have made it this year, but the grind has got me on lock. I'll see you at AGDQ, dude.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the goons.
Yeah, shout outs to the Goon Squad, and good luck at Evo, dude.
And then we also got a $10 donation from Red Roses that says, go, BB, go. Do it for best girl.
All right, now we're into our first fight with Xemnas. And this fight is going to have this long building RC that we're going to do here.
Hit the star for good luck. I do that every now and then.
So this building RC is, you just watch it. It takes a long time. It's does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
But it's really not worth it all the time. So hopefully this will be the only time we see this in this fight.
There are actually 3 different reaction commands he could have used there. One that just dodges him, second that does a little bit of damage, and this third one which does a ton of damage.
Now he's going to land here, jump back into the air, and do an aerial combo. This is the strat that Bloody learned right before the run at AGDQ 2015, so I'm glad that he was able to completely destroy it this time.
So with these reflect combos, if you just spam a bunch of reflects, it will only do one. It'll only give yourself one addition of reflect. But by using reflect, slap shot, which is that keyblade attack, and then going into another reflect, and then going with the guard break after that, it makes each of those different reflects do individual damage, making for some crazy combos.
Xemnas can use either a shorter combo, a longer combo, this being the shorter, or he can put up a barrier and say guard. And so Bloody has to react to all of them, and he wants to try to get the short combo a lot. And now we're going for the skip on that second building RC.
Nice.
And
He actually,
it should be
Xemnas could have possibly gotten out of that, but Bloody used...
Last hit, wow.
Xemnas is one of those fights that has a lot of recovery, so the R's loop isn't nearly as effective on him. You have to be very, very precise.
Yeah.
Or you got to mash real hard, which is what I do. All right, so final stretch now.
Final battles.
All right.
All right, first phase is best phase.
Definitely the best phase. Got to slice up some buildings.
Yo, nice, dude.
To the boys in chat who know about the emote, you can go ahead and start spamming it. All right.
Now we're just basically making our way to that large ship there to try to take out these engines that are powering it. First we have to go through some more buildings, get more reaction commands.
All right, so coming up here, kind of the, this is all linking into one fight, which is the core fight. We're gonna have to defeat a lot of nobodies to get to the next phases of Xemnas. So he's going to be using up Magnet to actually kill these different enemies, which will knock them into the background and gradually hit these left and right cylinders.
Yeah, as you can tell by the health bars at the top right and top left. There is a charge meter in the middle too that would fire a laser, but we're not really worried about that as long as we use all these magnets properly.
He's going to save an ether here he's going to get one more magnet usage here. And then for the second set of enemies, he's actually going to jump and use Master Form, which the explosion from that will also make all these enemies fall. You only have to hit each of them once to get them to fall into the background. Now he'll get to use one more magnet here, because again, going into dry form will refill your MP. And then you can just hit one more, and that'll give him what he is. Oh yeah, I forgot. Magnet form, or Magnet also just lasts longer in Master Form. All right, so here's the core fight. He's going to be using Magnet on it, which with a series of combos will also just make the enemy spawn a lot faster.
Now, Master Form he has been reverted. We're going to be just doing some more Magnet into Trinity combos here on these first wave enemies, and hopefully the second.
Yeah, there are 2 waves of nobodies here. And normally you have to run the health bar of this core down pretty far, but by utilizing Magnet, for whatever reason, they spawn a lot faster.
Now our good pal Genie's back out. We're going to switch him over to Master Form again and do those same Magnet into Genie limit combos that we were seeing outside of the mansion with Mickey.
To note, if Bloody had gotten Final Form, when he got Anti-Form, got Final Form instead, he could have used Final Genie here. Saves like 15 seconds, but it's extremely rare to get it. And again, all these assassins, they will one-shot you if they go for their death animation.
Getting rid of Genie, we're going to have to build up our drive again. And on top of that, we just want to use Duck Flare on the core here because it's still really powerful. Now he's built up to the Valor, and this is probably why he has Oblivion on
The
him.
AoE finisher right there deals
Does a
about...
ton.
Okay, I'm going to get in the air.
So that building attack, that's a one-shot. They're coming in here right at the beginning of Xemnas, using its little slide dash effect to close in. He's also going to try to get off this finisher, which will give him some iframes. If he times it correctly to not get hit by that.
Oh, okay.
He timed it a little poorly there. See if he can recover from it.
Ooh, wow.
That swipe attack is also a one-shot.
And he's only half health.
That sucks.
And yeah, unfortunately.
Bad timing, unfortunately.
That's all right. Now you
Definitely
get
did not want to
showed
get hit, yeah. It's a real quick death, no big deal. All right, let's try that again. Huh.
A little late on that one, overcompensating.
Again,
Oh,
if he
Donald's
does
alive.
not reflect those, he will die.
Like Donald just standing there looking around.
He is ready, dude.
Right now, back in Duck Flare, our favorite limit. Gonna get as much damage as possible and then go into the Mega Duck Flare.
There we go.
Finish him off.
Very pretty fight when it goes correctly.
Now we got to go into bit of a slow fight. Just why did they put this?
Why
in
is
there?
this in the game? So this is Blue Eyes White Dragon. There are 5 phases to killing him. You got to break the tail, the 2 little engines on the side, and then both of his wings. The basic idea behind this is that you can absorb the energy from those different lasers the enemies are shooting at you, and you can also just shoot the enemies, which they will then fall into these different pieces and break them as well.
I'm using a technique here
Yes.
called finisher canceling, where I'm able to use infinite finishers by canceling the finisher with a Riku laser. So that allows me to hit these bombs into the body parts a lot faster, speeds things up.
He also has to absorb the energy in order to get
Yeah,
that
at
Mega
the same
Laser.
time, which makes this actually a pretty scary fight for me. Because if I get hit like once, then I'm down to like pretty much 1 health.
Yeah, that's the worst part about this fight. It's long, boring, and not safe.
Right.
It's very easy to die in this
Get
fight.
hit 2 or 3 times, be a little late on absorbing those lasers. There's a lot of routing that actually goes into this fight. It's not just, all right, go. Like with when you'll use your Mega Laser or not. Right here, since you're right up in its business,
Last couple of enemies finish it off. He did specifically wait to finish it off until he could get some more energy there, so that way he'll be able to charge up another Mega Laser for this next piece.
All right, so now for the wings. These are the last 2 pieces. In this phase, he'll start shooting off homing missiles. There really is no, you can't absorb them. The only way is to just avoid them and hopefully parry them. Sometimes you'll just get hit though. Yeah, like right there.
Okay.
There's just kind of no way for me to escape.
Again, 1/4 of his health just from 1 missile there.
Yeah.
And now we should be able to get
This
a
is
little
the
bit
scariest part right here, this wing in particular.
yeah, Bloody likes to save this last Mega Laser for the 5th phase. He's going to try to just take out the health bar with killing the enemies instead. Should be
There we
safe.
go.
Okay.
Good job.
Now
All
he's going
right.
to put on a slight delay before this 5th.
I have
He's
to be a
gotta
bit
survive.
careful because the bomb is still alive and he's actually going to home in on me right there.
Yep.
All right, now we got missiles again.
Again, using that
There we
finisher
go.
canceling to keep giving him a
Nice.
finisher to hopefully reflect
right.
that missile like he did.
Now we're just going to blow up this wing. All we have to do is get through the first wave of bombs and then just let the Mega Laser rock and we'll take care of it. Right there.
There it is.
2 fights left. We just saw Armored Xemnas or Throne Xemnas sitting down. We now have to face him again. This time he's broken up into 3 phases, which is thankfully down 1 phase from the original Kingdom Hearts 2, where after you hit him to a specific HP gate, he'll then knock you out. Getting that slide dash and then the reflect, again, hit you into him to get that reflect damage. Now he needs to be very careful because, again, those swipe attacks will one-shot you. So Bloody has to pay a lot of attention to revenge value and just once you stagger him enough. That's the first HP gate. You jump up and just take it. Now he's going to be looking for specific buildings in order to use these reaction commands. They'll spawn consistently.
Immediately after this building RC is finished, he's going to do a double jump, an aerial dodge, and then glide over. That's actually skipping an attack that the enemy can use here called or these big snowflake lasers that you've seen a few times, which just makes it a lot nicer than having to try to navigate through those.
Bloody put on a subtle little delay there right at the start, just so he wouldn't have to deal with the brick wall animation. Make sure that slide dash was going to stagger him.
Again, those snowflake lasers you're seeing now, that's what he's skipping at the end of this
think we're gonna be fine.
building phase.
There we go. Right down here. I think I may have flew over it a little bit, but it's there.
I was like, did it spawn like as you were pressing triangle? All right, so once again, aerial dodge and then fly. Flying over the trigger for it.
Right
Final
about
phase
here. So over drop. All right, good. He's gonna. There we go.
Letting each reflect actually do damage.
I'm gonna
before
be a
continuing
little
the combo.
safe. There we go. It's a good thing I was.
Making sure to throw that ether before the fight was over. Because, yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so here he is. Here is the final boss of this game, Final Xemnas.
For the longest time, every HD version of this game had broken the reaction command for this boss. Now they finally fixed it.
Yeah. This is an absolutely beautiful. He's going to grab. He's going to try to grab you. But now you're going to start reflecting around and using reflect at very specific spots to get it to go off and do damage. He's not just throwing it out whenever. He's timing. All right, you're going to have like 2 reversals here, then throw out a reflect. Sometimes he'll do a double reflect. Yeah, lots of damage there. Going to get a potion out to get that health
Hey, there
back
he
up.
is. Good.
Now the number he's looking for.
I'm going to be safe and, yeah, okay. That's good.
The number you're looking for here is 4 bars. So he's going to try to get him right below, right above there, because that's the point where he's going to want to go into his laser's phase. So he's just using air combos to get him close. Now limit for him to have the iframes through that, go into his ground combo, into the Rs. Once again, stopping 1 hit short. Now, a little quirk about this fight is that you can actually push Final Xemnas out of bounds, and you can't go out there yourself. So he needs to make sure he kind of angles him in certain ways to keep him in the arena. Now, we're actually going into the throw animation again. That sometimes can happen. But Bloody, I mean, he just went through it. He popped that elixir, getting all of his MP back.
As soon as he gets to about 0.6, 0.7 bars of health, then the fight's over.
Oh, I guess we won't be using them for him. All right. So time is not coming up quite yet. We have to go through this entire section right here where we deflect the laser dome, as it's well known. And then we have to go through another 40-second cutscene, and then we can finally deal the final blow.
What is your PB in this game, Blake?
It's a 3:00:21, I want to say.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah. I'm seeing my time right down below. It's actually a pretty good run.
Very
Very happy with it.
You're just getting countless Pog champs in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's a really, really solid marathon run of this. Only 2 deaths over the course of it.
2 deaths. Pretty fast deaths too. But I'm really happy how I played.
Want to note that coming up right after this, we have basically every super boss you want from this game. We're actually going to be going right into the bonus game first.
Yeah.
Which is this game
We'll do
again.
Data Org first, I believe.
We'll be fighting Data Org.
And that's purely because he's already on the profile for Data Org, and he'll have to actually load a save for it and stuff.
Right.
And for the others, he'll have to switch to a different profile, as well as it's just kind of fun to end on the boss fights.
Yeah. All right, time is coming up here in just a second. Just go ahead and mash. We're going to be using Session to kill him. Time.
Hey!
Wow, 302.
302.
That was a 301. That was a 59. That's it.
All right.
Good job, bud.
Real good.
Actually, it was a 301 because he started. He didn't right back at the beginning of the run. He didn't start at the right place.
Oh yeah, you didn't start. Regardless. It was
Now,
like a 57.
let's go ahead and get set up for Data Org since, want to save as much time as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to close the application first.
Yeah, and that's not only, there's no soft reset for Kingdom Hearts 2, but even if there were, the closing application is actually required because at the very beginning of the Data Org fight, we're going to be doing some manipulation in order to know exactly which boss patterns we're going to be getting. And that it turns out that is caused, as long as you close application first, that's how you can make it happen.
While he is getting over there to these Data Org fights, Edo, if you want to fit in a few donations.
Sure thing. We have a $15 donation from Sir Champ Bell that says, donating for my favorite game and one of my favorite streamers/runners. Love SGDQ, and shout outs to Biscuits for showing me how to beat the Data Org finally. We have a $50 donation from Paige Reader that says, Kingdom Hearts is my favorite series, and KH2 is my favorite game within the series. I'm loving watching this speedrun and learning some new tips and tricks for making my own playthrough easier. Thank you for showing off this great game and supplementing it with those amazing musical numbers. My favorite speedrun of the event. Thank you, Bloody, and his couch friends.
Yeah, nice donation. That was nice.
So we should maybe do a quick explanation of what Data Org even is in the first place. We have a post-game area right over here in the Cavern of Remembrance, where we have these portals right here, 13 of them. They represent the datas of all of the Organization 13, and they're all in super boss form. So they all have pretty much max health, doing lots of damage, really crazy stuff.
Some of them will be bosses that we saw during the run, some won't, but even the bosses that we saw during the run will be completely different.
All right,
And
so
just want to reiterate that he is on level 1.
we are on the highest
you want to
difficulty
look
possible.
at the menu real fast? Just
Oh,
make sure.
yeah.
Confirm.
Level 1, you can look at my, stats not the greatest for sure. All right, but yeah, I think I'm ready to go. I'll give you guys as good a countdown as I can. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we start off with Axel, and again, this is all about manipulating the RNG for the run. Determines the order in which we do these first few boss fights. He's going to be doing a lot of Blizzard and Reflect combos on this boss fight. Again, using that revenge value, that hidden value that we've looked into the data for, to know exactly when Axel's going to retaliate and use the Reflect at the precise timing.
We're going to be utilizing quite a few different Keyblades throughout this run. Right now, I forgot the name of it again.
The Mysterious Abyss Keyblade is what we're using for
Gives
the
you a Blizzard boost, and as you can imagine, Axel is weak to Blizzard. Also, you're noticing Sora's health is depleting very quickly. That's because you're standing on literal fire right now.
Now he's very close to an HP gate for Axel. He wants to get him as low as possible, but then once he gets him to a certain HP gate, he has to try to reflect and use the reaction command at the same time. Unfortunately, it didn't work, which is going to break our RNG manipulation for the rest of the run. Real shame, but what can you do? It's actually one of the most tight inputs in the game.
All right.
Now, he wants to go ahead and use his reaction command because you cannot kill Axel while the floor is on fire, so he does need to use that once. Now going into limit form, using R's like we saw before. All right, one down, 12 to go. It's going to get a lot more interesting now that we broke that RNG.
Yeah. Luxord in particular will be kind of a pain, but we'll just try our best, see what we can do. Luxord is going to be right up next. We don't need to do any Keyblade changing. You would think that having like a strength boost or reaction boost would do something. It doesn't make any difference at all.
Yeah, it's just number of hits to lower that time gauge. So right here we're going to be having to play this mini game. Bloody has to make very quick reactions. If you look in the bottom left corner, there's going to be a little mini game where there's going to be 3 X's and a circle. He just needs to time these inputs to get the circle, lowering that time gauge a lot.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about the manipulation breaking is that we couldn't show you the insanely fast way of doing these mini games, but he still does them pretty damn quickly.
Those are pretty tough to time after only 4 loops. They get slower as you go to allow players to be able to eventually catch up to it.
But it doesn't get too slow in the data version, so if he lets it go on too long, it'll actually just turn him into a die or a card.
Yeah, just kind of imagine these are the harder versions
almost
of
there.
all of them. Yeah, so, again, he's looking for that same HP barrier I was talking about in the
just a little off tap. There we go.
Yeah. So now we actually skipped this move earlier, but it turns out it's faster in the data version.
It's really, really hard to deplete his time gauge on level 1. So the best way to do it is just to play the game.
Let's just stay away from him.
Just hover midair. No big deal.
Now we've got this final mini game we have to hit. We have to get 4 circles. Let's see if Bloody's able to do it.
Pause buffering there.
Putting him to 1 health left and shooting a quick boogie.
Yeah. And he pause buffered because that last one, they move faster after you lock each one, so that last one
last one is actually
impossibly
moving at a pace that's almost impossible to keep up with. All right.
All right, next up we got Marluxia.
Now, the big thing about Marluxia is that the way Marluxia works is that he doesn't actually do damage to you directly through most of his attacks. Any of his attacks with the scythe don't do damage to you. However, they remove this counter that's above your head. And this counter is based on your level. What level are we at, Spike?
Level 1. If he hits us 1 time, you die.
Yeah. So he's going to be doing some magic at the beginning of this fight in order to manipulate the move that Marluxia is going to use. And unfortunately,
as I said,
death there.
I had it. That's right. I remember exactly what happened. That's okay. Yeah, 1 hit and it's pretty much over. What what happened there was my preset magic was on Magnet from the last fight, and I wasn't used to that. I'm used to it always being on Firaga, so had a little panic attack there, but we'll give it another shot.
And again, ordinarily we do try to manipulate the RNG for this run, so it's one of those things that you have to improvise on the fly when that breaks. All right, so now that went a bit better. He got to get the move that he wanted, so he can use Comet to very rapidly deplete a lot of that health bar. It's going to push him into the next phase as quickly as he can. From here on out, he's going to wait for Marluxia to retaliate and then constantly use 3 reflects in a row into an guard break into explosion. Now that reflect damage is going to land right as Marluxia's coming into the center of the room. Otherwise, if it didn't land precisely as he shows up, then he would summon all these large pools that would kill you instantly. Normally, he's invulnerable while he's standing in the middle and doing this pool attack, but he has just a short period of time right as he teleports. Now we're going in for the DM skip.
Final form Firaga. It does
this is the
not
first use of
add
final
revenge
form.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is final
yeah.
form, by the way.
Final Form has these 2 Keyblades that are floating around you, and especially during every attack you use. And the cool thing about them is that they make it, for some reason, so that Firaga specifically does not add revenge value. Limit Form, we're going to see some of the same combos we've seen to finish off the boss.
There you go.
So now we're seeing these techniques that we've been talking about, like where the revenge value is constantly. Now we're using techniques that are just so overpowered, they don't use them in the specific way we're using them. There's a lot of spacing involved in the final form Firaga to make sure you're getting good damage there, making sure you're not using the final hit of ours. And now we got Xemnas.
Yeah, remember this guy? We just saw him a little bit ago.
He's a little bit different. He moves a lot faster.
We used to always, pretty much everybody fought Xemnas at the end of the run, but now it turns out that it's actually better to just fight him in the middle of it. So we're going to be still using the reflect slap shot idea that we had in the any percent portion of the run, but now we have a longer combo. We have more combo pluses on top of our normal combo, so we can actually get in a lot more reflect damage.
Let's see what he does here. Okay. I suspect that he'll go for the long combo. There we go.
All right, so again, any of the moves that Xemnas uses here, you can choose from any one of them. Let us be ready for everything.
All right, so we're getting close to where he's going to want to start climbing the building.
Yeah, normally you would climb the building and do the RC. He's going to try to skip it here through the usage of all those reflects during the long combo and now straight into the limit form. One more Ars Arcanum should hopefully do it.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
Awesome.
Building skip. Pretty good. All right. Now, the scary thing about Xemnas is that he's actually a 2-part fight.
Just like in the regular.
Just like in the regular one. So if we die in this part, we're going to have to do the first part again.
Now, the entire point of this part of the fight is that he's going to start off with using these orb attacks. These orbs are great for us because we can reflect them to do a lot of damage and carry it into a combo. Every time that he does one of these combos, Xemnas has a choice of either using orbs or using a vine attack. And every time he uses orbs, it's exactly what we want. He's being very nice about it right now.
I don't remember the exact spot where it stops, so just gonna go ahead and do a single reflect there. If we do a double reflect before we get to the part where we wanna, okay, well.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can keep using orbs and vines once he hits a specific HP value, or he can go into this laser attack. We'd rather see the orbs, but he knows how to deal with the lasers as well. Now there's that same kind of throw attack that we saw at the opening of the any percent portion of the fight.
Yeah, again, timing all these reflects very specifically. Then using the reversals. Again, a lot of these attacks can kill in 1 or 2 shots. Using the limit form there, actually more so for the iframes right there. Because he's instantly going to want to do an attack where he grabs Sora, and then you have to play as Riku there. We don't want that. Very slow, just a big time waster.
Now we're getting, hopefully, near the end of laser phase. Yeah, he's going to do...
Once again, same concept. Try to get him to 0.75 bars. Next one should do it.
Good.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, we do have to sit through that entire cutscene again.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why we liked ending it on this one previously.
Sure, feeling like, okay, I got a PB. Not, well, minute break. So, yeah, we just saw this. So, Edo, you can...
No problem.
Donations.
We have a $50 donation from Anonymous that says, so glad I was able to catch the end of the Kingdom Hearts run. If I didn't need to go to work to get money to donate, I would have been watching SGDQ all week. $150 donation from the Space Pope that says, enjoying the speed run of Kingdom Hearts. Donald always died on me too. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
It never gets old. It never gets old.
Also worth pointing out, some people might be sitting at home like, why does Sora have a crown on his head? There are 3 different crowns that you can get in the final mix version of the game. You can get a bronze, a silver, and a gold by doing 3 different tasks. And one of them is by defeating all 13 Data Org members. One of them is by defeating Terra, which the boss will hopefully be defeating later. And then a bunch of mushrooms, like these mini-game type things we have to do. It doesn't actually boost your stats in any way. It's purely just an achievement, just kind of showing off.
Yeah. I also want to point out we're at 867,000.
Yeah.
I believe in all of you. We have the rest of this run. We have 2 more boss fights to go. I believe we can get 900,000. I know the crowd behind me believes we can get to 900,000, right? Let's make it happen. All right, now we're done with Xemnas. Everything from here on out is going to fly super quickly. We go straight into Lexius next. I'm going to let Spike take most of this one, I think, as well as Bloody, obviously, talking when he can.
Yeah, the main idea here is you're going to be using a lot of Reflect throughout it. He's going to be using some ground shake attacks where rocks shoot up from the ground, so he has to make sure to just stay in specific spots. You'll also notice that he has a power level gauge that goes up. As the fight goes, he will become more dangerous. So again, using Reflect through each of these jumps. He wanted to hit that first HP gate, which he hit relatively quickly. Using Reflect through that grab attack he was trying to use on him right there.
Throwing a Blizzard in between 2 of the Reflects there just to be able to let the Reflect deal damage and get to the Reflect finisher very quickly.
All right, so we should be coming up close to the final phase right here. You can see the rocks are gradually getting bigger and bigger. All right, keeping that correct spacing with final form here. Again, the Fyragas here are not adding any revenge value. So he's running this down to the end of it.
Go all the way until he's completely out of MP, throw an Elixir. And now we're going straight into Duck Flare.
Very
Fantastic
nice.
Fight.
It's kind of a weird quirk that we found somewhat recently that instead of doing like full out air combos while you're using Duck Flare, you actually just want to continually jump, use those little aerial spirals, landing on the ground, resetting, and just doing that over and over again.
All right, now we get Syx. This is going to look pretty similar to what we saw in the any % portion of the run. But instead, we're going to start with Final Form.
Yeah, getting in as much damage as we can here with that.
Set this combo up so that I can get into the corner and
Get the same thing set up.
And here we go. Now, it's going to look pretty similar, but with a lot more Blizzards instead of physical attacks. It's going to be using Blizzard, Reflect. Oh, no.
Yeah, the timing on that is stupid.
No, it's actually
it's
absolutely
very,
stupid.
very difficult.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to mash incredibly quickly.
I think just for the sake
Or
of safety,
time it.
for the sake of safety, I think I'm just going to do Blizzard and then double Reflect. That's the safe way to go about it, but
Yeah, he is sacrificing a little bit of damage there by not putting the slap shot in the middle.
Yeah, a lot of players have their different opinions on whether or not they want to mash or what they want to time. And
Yeah.
a lot of the timing is very different based on what moves you do. Like a Blizzard into a Blizzard, fastest play possible is a lot different from a Blizzard to a Reflect, for example, if you're timing it. So everyone has their own preferences.
And here we go. Now he's using 2 Reflects instead of 2 Blizzards,
Yeah.
losing out on a little bit of damage.
And
But
at this
hopefully
point,
keeping
the
the loop
Berserk
going.
phase, or the Berserk charge is all the way charged up, but the way we're attacking him, he still wants to retaliate instead of going into his desperation move.
Yeah, if we ever let him out of this loop, he's going to use this long, annoying DM. We really don't want to see that. Now we're going for the, at the very end, it's again faster to go into Final Form, use these Fyragas. And we don't have to worry about our drive being recovered at the ends of all these fights, so
Yeah.
great job.
all right. So this next fight is probably it's the fastest fight in the run, and it's probably the craziest. I only have one thing to say. Keep an eye on that health bar.
Yeah, this is crazy. For any of you who have fought Larxene, you probably remember her splitting into multiple clones and then hating life because she's just hitting you from all these different angles. It turns out that splitting her into 2 clones is actually her greatest weakness.
We can now damage both of them, getting in effectively double damage.
So Bloody's doing it on purpose. He's specifically going to let her get into There are 2 clones. Now all of this fire is dealing damage to her both times. It's not the same as Xemnas' clone. It's going to go into an explosion, reflect combos, and...
Watch that top right health bar.
Unbelievable, man. It's like 4.5, 5 bars just gone in a second.
Once again, getting her to that point where she had that brick wall, she's not going to get knocked up by anything, and then having 2 of them on screen getting demolished by that duck flare, or that comet. All right, so Roxas, another really cool fight. A lot of people probably died to this very quickly. Yeah, pretty cool loop we're going to be shooting for here in the second phase.
Yeah, the first phase, though, he's going to be starting off with these combos. He throws out a guard after each retaliation before going into reflect, because there's one of 2 things Roxas can do. And this is the one that we didn't want to see. But he should be able to dodge it and get him right back into the loop.
After a while, he's going to engage in a mini game with you, where if you call it correctly, then you will actually get both of his Keyblades. And if we play it right, he will never have them again.
Okay, here we go. It's very quick timing, hence the pause
Oh,
buffer.
yeah. That's crazy.
Start with a dodge roll forward to get around that limit form.
And now the goal here is to provoke him to use this laser attack and use Ars Arcanum at the exact same time so that you can use the invulnerability from the first half of that. Little scary.
Ooh, I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm alive. Holy shit.
You're given one.
That was crazy.
These Zantatsukins do so much damage with these extra Keyblades that he took from Roxas. It's
A
unbelievable.
lot of times he's having to just keep count of where that revenge value is every time to know when he's going to retaliate. Knowing then he can use the start of Rs, which gives him iframes. See, because right there, that would have hit him. The very first part of Rs has some iframes that he can work with. Again, right here as well. We got him down to the final bar. We got him close.
Scary there for a moment.
So that was just a little bit of health.
And that was entirely with skipping his big desperation move, the thing that
Yeah.
wastes a lot of time. Unbelievable.
All right. Now we got Vexen coming up next.
Vexen is probably
It's a really bizarre way to
Yeah.
avoid this guy's desperation move.
He's got a shield which has its own health bar. He's first going to want to get rid of that, and then we're going to be using, once again, the final form Firaga. He is weak, as you would imagine, once again, to fire.
And you notice that data bar that's climbing in the top left. What that is once it like starts to climb, it's going to summon an anti-Sora clone, an anti-form Sora looking thing. Now he's going to use the duck flare there. Sorry, tripping over my words here. And he's going to let Anti-Sora actually spawn, and that's because that's how he's going to skip his desperation move. He can't use it while Anti-Sora is on the field. Then he immediately wants to trigger his shield to be brought back up. One more final form series of Firagas is going to take him out. Great job.
All right, so now we're going to switch into a bit of a more mage-centric build. Going to be putting on Bond of Flame.
Bond of Flame being the Keyblade you actually got from the Axel fight at the end of the any percent run, giving you that fire boost, as you can imagine.
We're going to be using very fire-centric strategies.
The number of different Keyblades we use throughout this 20-something minute run is
pretty insane.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Now this is a strat that I think that like anybody could do at home if they really wanted to. Using
to
Final
foul
Form
form.
Firaga and making sure that your spacing is correct.
Yep. And just don't use those finishers.
Yeah, don't use the finishers.
Definitely the most straightforward fight of the 13.
Now get your MP back once you're done. Now you're going to be at about 4 drive, so want to build that up while also using Firaga. Goofy's going to help you out. The Goofy Tornado is actually going to prevent his revenge value from going up, so he's never going to break out, and you get enough drive to go back into Final Form and continue this. And if all is done correctly, he should be done. Let's see here. Pretty close. Now, if he's left with that much, just go for a horizontal slash and you're good.
And that little bit of trip damage left we kind of attributed to Goofy not doing as much with Tornado, or one of your fires just kind of not barely.
I think I should have done an extra fire there, now that I think about it, but either way it works out. So.
All right, Demix, definitely the most gimmicky of all these fights you have to do. 90% of this fight, you're not even fighting him. You're taking on these water clones, and he spawns many different phases of the water clones. This is our only time we're going to be using Wisdom Form throughout the Data Org run, because it has a really good way of just being able to move all around and use its Spyraga. The water clones react differently in this fight than they do in the regular version of the game, where in the regular version, you just hit each of the water clones once, they turn to a note, you can spin around with them and use Wild Dance. Now you need to actually hit them with finishers, so making it much more awkward to get to those. As you see, we just keep going into them. You only have a certain amount of time. If the time runs out, you lose the fight. Yeah, I believe this is the last water clone section.
Clones. Yeah, he can kind of do them in different orders, the number of clones that show
I
up.
actually know that. Yeah. So yeah, he's going to be taking these out. And then his goal is actually going to be to get Demix into the corner. So that's why he's baiting him out right there.
He's going to knock him up with the explosion here, and then he's going to keep using just a few Spyragas, generally one at a time.
I can only use finishers if Goofy is using Tornado.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm looking for here.
Come on, Goofy, I believe.
On top of that, he needs Goofy to be throwing him Megalixirs because he's only got 5 left, and he's going to use most of those. So he needs Goofy to throw him a couple throughout this fight.
Your boy Goofy's
Man,
not being
Goofy
so
has
helpful.
done nothing.
Hey, there he is.
There he goes. So now
We're just going to have to see how this plays out. Okay, that was good. Sometimes he can break out, even if he's using Tornado. Now we just have to get him back into the corner. The corner is probably the most important part.
We're not going to be able to skip this final desperation move, so we just get him under a bar, and now we have to take on the water clones. Because they're in the corner, now there's not as many spaces they can spawn
they're
into.
kind of funneled into this cone, so that way he can hopefully take him out with this large fire attack constantly. For the last couple that he's going to use, he's going to summon 50 clones, and he's going to summon 99 clones, as well as 113. So now he's going to summon 99. It turns out that we actually want to bring our friend Duck Flare back because every single rocket is going to hit a different clone. Use a little bit of fire to give us time to throw Megalixir. We're going to do the exact same thing over again.
That's so cool looking.
Unbelievable, dude.
All right.
There you go.
That's a very hard fight casually, just trying to get all 100 of those
And now
clones.
it's Zaldin, right?
Yeah, that leaves Zaldin
Yeah.
and Zigbar as our last
So
two.
we just saw Duck Flare. We harped on it a ton throughout the 90% run, how powerful Duck Flare is. Just absolutely insane. He's going to switch Keyblades here. We're going to talk about it a bit. We're also not going to talk throughout most of this fight, but I want to mention Duck Flare. It's really powerful, and so is a move called Berserk Charge.
Okay,
Very precise timing for what he's about to do, so I'm going to give him a little bit of quiet time.
let's see. Come here, bud. I'm going early, I see. Okay. I think that was Donald's fault. Yeah, okay. Let's try that one more time.
As usual.
Donald!
So what he's trying to do is Berserk Charge is an ability that means whenever your MP is completely drained, whenever it's purple, you will never use a finisher. So you can carry a combo on endlessly. So he's using a Duck Flare while also using Berserk Charge.
Okay, yeah. That time it was late, so.
Again, each one of these, the timing is just unbelievable.
So the loop that I'm doing, while it might look like I'm just doing some air combos, it's actually a perfect stun lock that I have to land on this guy with horizontal slash. And the timing for every single horizontal slash that I do is like a 3-frame window, and I have to hit all of them. So that's the perfect loop.
Unbelievably precise. And you notice how many Megalixirs he's using? In order to even just create a file for data.org runs, you need like 80 Megalixirs.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, we are going to be doing essentially the same thing as Zigbar, just looping him the entire fight using that very precise strat.
And time will come at the end of this fight,
Yep.
so be ready on that, because we're going to give him some silence for this strat.
Time.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Oh! Rock, paper, scissors.
All right, good stuff.
That's
So
yours.
with that, that just
Did I
leaves
steal you?
the incentives. Deciding to do the incentives right here at the end. So real quick to get to that file, we just need to. The fastest way to do that is to just die to something.
Don't you have
so.
to switch profile?
No, where it's all right here.
Oh, okay.
So that's how quickly you can die in data.org.
Yeah. All right, so that leaves Sephiroth and Terra. We're going to do Sephiroth first. I'm also going to, I'm going to give one attempt. We're going to do some restrictions here, all right? This is typically the Keyblade that you would use. It has the best damage output. We're going to use this bad boy.
Oh.
Shout outs to RPG Limit Break 2016.
He took all of his armor off, and he has a 0 strength keyblade.
Yep, the worst Keyblade in the game.
All right, let's do this.
But it makes some great noises. Walk out.
That's enough.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Just wanted to make sure you heard those noises. So he's going to be doing 2 combos in a row each time here in this first phase, ending with an explosion on the second one, which will force him to retaliate. He has to be careful about each move that Sephiroth can use. He'll often use the dash or the teleport swing. The other thing he could use is the attack
Just be
with the
safe.
reaction command.
Yeah. Sephiroth moves very fast, and you haven't noticed his sword is very long, so it can catch you from almost anywhere, so he has to be able to react.
Oh, dodge rolling that instead of using the reaction command is insanely tight timing.
Explosion is a great finisher because it also, if you just want to get them to their revenge value, it adds a ton.
Huh. Okay,
so
spawned on the side there.
He's
That's
into the
interesting.
second phase now, so he has to use Reflect across anytime he uses these orbs. He's going to be going into Trinity again here because this pillar attack is just brutal to deal with. I would imagine into Limit Form next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the safety.
So he's going to go into Limit Form for the heal and the MP refill, and then he revert almost immediately. Reflecting these orbs away again, waiting for him to run up close. Now this is our free punishment, even though it would reduce him to 1 health and no MP.
Yeah. That's actually what you want to see most of the time because it's so easy to punish.
Dodge rolling it again for swag. I don't care if you say it's faster, it's for swag.
Casual.
He's a little close.
Every time.
I keep thinking you're early.
And now soon he'll be pushing him into the last phase.
That's enough.
Getting away here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. We can punish him again.
All right, almost here at the end phase here.
Give in to the dark.
It's gonna come straight up to me. Okay.
There's a lot of subtle movements to Sephiroth that Bloody's having to pay attention to be able to read exactly what he's about to do.
Yeah, if that hits me at all, I'm dead. That's the end.
Oh yeah, that's a one-shot.
All right, so pretty soon he's going
Yeah,
into the
right
last
around
phase.
here. Right around here.
And when he does, he's going to power up, and Bloody's going to have to start an attack and time it so that the finisher interrupts
Yeah.
him as soon as he becomes vulnerable.
Give in to the dark.
Now getting
Not gonna
closing
let
some
him get away with
distance.
that. That's a pretty bad setup. gonna go into limit form again.
Limit form again is just to recover his MP and also give him iframes through that last attack. Gonna push him again here. Hopefully we can avoid some meteors, but we'll see.
He really wants to say that sentence.
Okay, so he used Retaliating Slash there. He's going to go into limit form and try to finish off the fight without ever seeing his big meteor DM. Ragnarok. Unbelievable. First try, no armor. Sweet memories.
Sweet memories.
The Keyblade.
The bees.
So that leaves us, we've done almost everything you can in this game, at least the cool stuff. We have one
One
boss
last thing.
left.
One last thing. One last save to load.
Lingering Will, otherwise known as Terra.
Yes. All right. Right down here. This is mostly considered the hardest boss in the game, and I would probably agree with you. He's also probably my favorite boss in the game. Let's just go ahead and get started.
So we're going to be starting off. There's a number of different attacks or phases that he can use here at the start. He's going to go right into, I think it's Comet, to make sure he doesn't, no, Duck Flare, to make sure that he doesn't get Mike Terra's punched out right there.
Yeah, because there is a couple attacks that if you aren't immediately pressing a button, he'll completely one-shot you. Now, he knows everything about his revenge value for this fight, and he's trying to push him past a certain point so that way he can actually get right up next to it and then use Final Form to deal a lot of damage. There are 3 phases to this fight, and he's going to try to push him into the second phase almost immediately.
Yeah, doing all those horizontal slashes, that air combo instead of the ground combo at the beginning, was just because it timed it out kind of perfectly.
So we got him into the second phase now. There are 2 types of, well, there's 2 main types of phases or styles of this phase that he can give you. One is the Rising Sun phase, which is what we want and is what we appear to be in at the moment. The other is Bike phase, which we really don't want to see. There are a few other moves he can use as well, but mainly we want to see this Rising Sun attack. He can either whip after it 0 times, 1 times, or 2 times, and he can also use a second Rising Sun. So he has to be ready for any of those adaptations because everyone will kill him.
Yeah, those whip attacks actually kind of have like an absorption aspect to it. It'll suck you in. So he has to move away, go back in, possibly have to back out.
The other big thing about this fight, look at that health bar. He's going to deal more damage the longer he can keep consistently doing damage within a series of combos. That's why the explosion at the end of this combo will deal a lot more than the one at the beginning of, or at the end of the first combo.
Okay, we're going to be using Duck Flare. We're about to hit the third phase. I'm going to be a little safe.
Now in the third phase, he can use his desperation move. Oh, jeez. That's Mike Terra's punch out. It's a one-shot.
Okay, so we should be hitting that third phase here very soon.
There we go.
Okay, so this is his desperation move. This is
the
hopefully
craziest desperation move in the game.
Yeah, unbelievable, and hopefully the only time we're going to see it. He has to do 3 guards there, fly away as he tries to chase him and teleport. He's going to back himself into a corner, wait for Terra to teleport to him, guard 2 times, a 3rd time, and then dodge roll. And now he's going to hopefully never see that move again. He's going to start with limit form here and throw an ether as he uses a limit so that he gets his full MP refilled. Now he goes into his second Ars Arcanum after his Antetsuken. He's starting to deal a lot more damage now, as you can tell.
We'd like to see our party members throwing up those Mega Elixirs.
Yeah, and it's crucial that they throw one up here. Otherwise, we're going to see
Yo,
that DM
Goofy,
again.
our boy.
Goofy's amazing, and here we go, Ragnarok to finish it off. Yeah! Unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything. I don't really have much else to say except thank you to GDQs for allowing me to do this again. It was really an honor just to showcase all of this. And had a really great time. Had a lot of fun. Thank you guys to everybody on the couch for the great commentary. It was wonderful. Hopefully you guys enjoy the game. Pick it up. If you want to learn how to speedrun it, you can probably contact some of us. We have a community Discord. You can learn the strats. You can learn any Kingdom Hearts game under the sun, basically. Just whatever you want.
And if you have some questions for Bloody, we're about to do an interview with him as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Edobing, thank you for donation reading. You were awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And yeah, I think we're done here. Anything else? Thank you guys. And thank you, of course, GDQ, the crowd, the fans. You guys are the real MVP. All right.
All right, welcome back, guys. Our Summer Games Done Quick 2017. We're gonna go and kind of chill a little bit, relax after that amazing Kingdom Hearts 2 run. And we're gonna go ahead and play a couple of ads for you, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.